Hello, everybody. This is Apostle Babe Linda James, your favorite apostate, and it is Saturday night, September the 6th. And I'm going to just have my picture up for a while. I colored my hair just before I came on here. So my hair is still wet, my makeup's not on, so I'm just not feeling presentable, but I am here, and I'm glad to be here. And I need to remind you that I'm your favorite apostate. And as much as I tell you this over and over and over again, every single week, I'm really, really sure I'm going to be able to brainwash you into believing that I am your favorite apostate, because that's one of the techniques used for brainwashing. So let's see who's here. Dallas is here. John is here. I think I just heard somebody who's going to join me, which is really cool. Yep. All righty. We've got a dear friend of mine who's joining us. This is Keith. Hi, Keith. I'm so glad you're here.
You are my favorite apostate. Oh, sorry.
Yay. I love that. Let me say hi to people that are here. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, this will be fun.
John's here. Thank you, John. You know what I noticed, John, is you always do a greeting before the show even starts. So when I go into the studio and I see your greetings, you know what? That really brightens my day. Thank you. And Shaq is here, which Shaq Composer. And then Alora, my mermaid. I call her my mermaid. And we have Purple in the room. And Nadine. Hi, Nadine. Good to see you. Dehydrated Nurse. Hello, love. And you're here, Keith. I know you're not usually here, but and then there's Love Always Wins.
That's me. That's my YouTube channel.
Okay. Y'all want to visit his YouTube channel.
It's lame. I only have like one video. It's dumb. Don't go there.
Okay. I'll stop now.
Love is a waste of time. Just forget about it.
Bullshit. He's really good. Whatever the video is, go check it out. Okay.
Right, nice,
now, one of these days I'm going to talk him into maybe playing some background music for me to sing. But we'll see how that goes.
I can be your new Lloyd Evans, like, right-hand man. We can do little songs like he does. Or, I never mind. I don't, whatever. I don't.
Right. I actually didn't hear you. Okay.
Never mind. Lloyd has that one guy that does his music.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. That's right. Okay. So there's stuff that's been going on in the Watchtower, and there's some stuff that's going on in the politics. And within politics this week, one of the things that's been, I just want to run past these things, Keith, and then I would like for us to just spontaneously go into whatever we want to talk about after I bring up the subject. Tonight, the subject I'd like it to be about when we're kind of fading, or we're a PMO and we're just kind of not going to the meetings as much, and we feel like the elders are kind of trying to reach out to us and we're avoiding them, but we're in a place of anxiety where we're always on edge and we don't know when they're going to show up. We're kind of concerned that we might see one of the brothers or sisters at the market, and we're dreading the idea of them asking us questions and what are we going to say to them. And we have this in this sense of obligation to answer to them. But in actuality, we really don't have to answer to them. And that's a real mind shift, okay? Because I'm telling you, when we've been trained to answer to them, it's a habit, which you can also create a new habit, okay, of a new mindset of, I really don't have to answer to these people, whether it's a brother or sister from the hall that you run into at the market or at a department store or anywhere, or if it's one of the elders who conveniently show up unannounced. Unannounced meaning they do not let you know they're coming over at a certain time, which, by the way, is socially unacceptable. Showing up at someone's home unannounced, unless you've told them, drop by anytime. Anytime you're in the neighborhood, just drop by. Unless you've said those words, what they're doing is intentionally catching you by surprise. And they're doing that to throw you off. And it startles you and it gets you to answer to them more. First off, if you've chosen that you no longer feel right, can't quite put your finger on why, but you know that you need to back off and think a little bit, you're actually paying attention to your intuition. That's okay to do. That's actually allowed. And within the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, under freedom of religion, that human right, which is number 18, the organization goes to court all the time using freedom of religion for anything that they do, including shunning us, okay? But within that Article 18, we also have the right to change our belief system. Here's another buddy of mine. Hey, Robert, welcome.
Hi, Linda James. How are you?
Good. Now, this is a dear friend of mine I met years ago.
Robert, do you recognize Apostate Babe Linda James as the most favorite apostate in the world?
I absolutely do. And,
Good. Okay.
if I had to bet all my money on that, I would say I'll win. That's right. And I want to see your hair. My gosh, Linda James, it's got to be incredible. Trust me. She's incredible. She's an incredible person,
She's
an
awesome.
incredible woman, and she stands up for everything she believes. And I love her for that.
Oh, thank you.
I miss you. I miss you.
So anyway, the thing that's been going on in politics this week is entertaining the thought of taking away the right to own a gun for those that are transgender.
What?
Which is against their human rights. But this is getting thrown around, and opinions are happening on this. At this point, it is still a human right to own a gun. Okay? So
it's the Second Amendment. Second Amendment, I believe.
Correct. And what they're going, the attempt is to categorize one who is transgender, which every transgender I've ever met are pretty clear on their identity. They've done a shitload of homework, and they happen to be off the charts brilliant. Like every single transgender friend of mine, and I know about 7 or 8. Okay, they are like well-studied people. They know their shit. Okay, they're trying to put them in a category of being mentally ill. Okay, I don't know what year it was, but for those that are homosexual, we were once considered mentally ill in the book of whatever until 1973. Okay, after that, we were not considered mentally ill. So this is another step of going backwards. Okay, and it's just one thing after another after another. So I just wanted to bring that up and just to say my disappointment in that because of the roundabout way that it's being done. And it's based on, unfortunately, what we talked about last week, the shooting at that Catholic church in Minnesota, which was a horrible, horrible event by actually a previous student who used to attend not only church there, but school there. His mother also worked there. So she was going through a lot of mental problems. And there's also a theory that antidepressants can make you kind of nutso, which
Yep.
they can if they're not prescribed the proper way. Yes, they can throw you off mentally. But this stems from Columbine, the Columbine shooting, because there was two men that did that, young men, and one of them was on antidepressants. That's what that's based on. And why was he on antidepressants? Because a year earlier, his parents actually were paying attention to him. He was displaying, different characteristics and stuff. They went and took him to a psychiatrist and stuff and got him some care, so he had been on antidepressants already for a good year or so. Ordinarily, if you're prescribed the wrong amount as far as milligrams, or if you're prescribed the wrong medicine, you usually feel it right away. Okay, you feel it right away, and you call your doctor going, this makes me feel this way, or this makes me feel another way. They'll adjust it, or they'll have you, they'll wean you off of it gently. They won't usually tell you stop taking it. Some things they can if they've already started you off on a small dose, but that's been my experience when I've had taken something from the psychiatrist and it wasn't working for me well. So there's that. And it's psychiatrists that prescribe medicine, therapists you go to speak to about what's going on in your life. And by the way, one of the things I was really, really, really concerned about before I ever took meds was that I thought that if a doctor prescribed me medicine, I would have to, by law, take the medicine, which is not the case. So, educate yourself if you see a psychiatrist and they tell you that they suggest this or that. Educate yourself, ask them all kinds of questions, and you are entitled to know these things. So just because they tell you to take these things don't mean you have to, but they are the professionals, and it's probably a wise thing to do. I'm very med compliant. I take meds daily, and if I did not, I would have so much high anxiety, and I would probably be bedridden with panic attacks. That's how much my psych meds help me out. So it really gives me peace of mind. So there's that. And I just wanted to talk about when somebody is trying to get something out of you, to get you to answer to them, I'm wanting to come up with some, what is it called? Like stoppers. Like something you can say when somebody asks you a question and you don't care to answer to them. Conversation stoppers.
Like a reverse reasoning book?
Yeah, you can do something like that.
I don't know what to do. Like when I see an elder or I see somebody I've known for 20 years, yes. I do slip into that mode where I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, we've been conditioned to like be all apologetic to them when they should be like ashamed of what they've done to everyone. But it's a good subject because I honestly don't. I'm the kind of person who tries to be really like get along with everybody, but honestly, like there are days I just want to, I don't know, you have to empower yourself and you have to say, you have to not buy whatever they're projecting on you. You have to kind of, stand up for yourself. I don't know how to handle those situations, frankly, so I love the subject.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, purple rhymes with orange is really hilarious. Okay, that was funny. Yeah. Okay.
I brought this down and I can't see who I just
conversation stopper.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's Diana. Okay, Diana.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. So this other guy, Robert, that's over here, the bottom right, he's a dear friend of mine for years, but he does not have a Jehovah's Witness background.
Oh.
But he's listened to me talk cult stuff like forever. Okay? Forever. So, yeah.
Well, I'm kind of new to that, relatively new. I guess I've been talking for 2 years. Oh, well, maybe it's been less. It's been a little less than 2 years.
It's been 2 years since you've been out, Dinah?
Not quite.
Oh wow, wow! You're a freshman.
It's complicated because I stopped going to the Kingdom Hall, but I was still like mentally in. I
Yeah,
was like isolated and just kind of destroyed myself
totally.
for years. And then my mom sent me like a message that just, threw me off because I was in a healing place. Like I was working on trying to not want to die every day. And she just sent me this message and it just like pierced me in the heart. And I was just like, I can't. And I fell down on my knees like crying because I was like, why does this woman have so much power over me? And then that's when I went and finally looked up Jehovah's Witness on YouTube somehow or somewhere and found MJ, crouched down in the car and talking about whatever he was talking about. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I totally feel that as a Jehovah's Witness. I'd be crouched in my car too, because I'd be afraid that somebody was going to see me, as if they would. Like they put you in such a fear state.
I totally relate to this. Yes.
So I was sitting there going like, I know what this guy's feeling right now. And then his channel led me to Vern's channel. And then I just went down one rabbit hole after another. And I was just like, son of a bitch. No, they didn't just like take my whole life.
Yep. It's a wake-up call for sure.
And that's all it takes is a statement or a text from a family member.
Yeah.
Just throws us off. And
it does.
Welcome, Dallas just joined us as well. Welcome,
hey,
Dallas.
Hey, Dallas.
I think he checked out for a sec.
Yeah, my dad, my whole family are still witnesses. Me and
Wow.
my brother are out. My fifth generation. Actually,
Congratulations.
I just got an update on the family, like where it began, and I'm not privy to most of this information. Which that's how the chain of command works. Females are at the bottom; they get to know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
all the men
your heads
die,
are
and we read their journal.
smaller. I mean,
That's
Sam
right.
Hurd
We
knows
have
what he's talking
10%
about.
less brain mass
He's
than
so
a man.
smart. Sam Hurd is the best.
That's right. So I asked my dad, like straight up asked my dad, so how did the family come into the truth? Like, where did
Don't
this
call it that, please. Please don't
pile
call
of
it that.
nonsense
Sorry.
come from? So
She was talking to her dad. It was okay.
So he can't know. I was very respectful when I was talking to him. Like I try not to elevate things because I want him to see what I'm saying and understand but it's never going to happen. But so I was telling him, I asked him and he told me that my great grandfather's dad took his two children, his two oldest children of 13 children, to the 1923 advertise convention
in Ohio.
And from that convention, both of those children became anointed, throughout their life. So they were anointed, which I didn't know that I had this royalty in my bloodline. But
so anyone who's not a Jehovah's Witness, the terminology anointed. I'm sorry, I just need to interrupt for a minute. Anyone that's not a Jehovah's Witness, the term anointed means they have a calling that they will be going to heaven. Ordinarily, most Christians think that they're all going to heaven, but within this culture of the Jehovah's Witnesses, they only believe 144,000 will go to heaven, and the rest will live on paradise earth.
Oh, no way. Oh, no.
So it's you're, like she said, it's almost like royalty if you're one of the quote unquote the anointed. Right. Okay, so I just wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Dallas, you want to say hi?
They were like, if you knew somebody who was anointed,
say hi to Dallas. Dallas, hi.
Hi there. Hi, y'all there. Hi, Donna, Keith, Robert.
Here.
Thank you. Hey, I have a question for all of you. So I see these TV things about lawsuits against the Church of Jesus Christ, the Mormons, right? But I don't see anything advertising you guys. You should be able to sue them for whatever they've done to you, and I don't see it. I'm like,
Well,
why is it
Norway
not
was a
here
pretty
with
big deal.
Jehovah Witnesses? Yeah, I'm like confused. So if anybody can
Hold on.
spring some light on that, that'd be great.
Okay, just a minute. JP,
Well, I am personally
it's
suing
telling
them.
me that
So
you need to
Good. Good.
connect your microphone and your camera before I can add you. Okay, JP, you need to connect your microphone and camera before I can add you, and that's usually something you can get to the right of either your smartphone or your computer. Okay, that's what I had to tell him. Go ahead about the question that Robert asked. Can you repeat it, Robert? Because I missed it.
Yes. So I see on TV, I see all these commercials about suing the Church of Latter-day Saints, which is the Mormons, right? But I don't see any commercials for you guys. And it like really upsets me because I know that you guys have been the same thing, brainwashed,
Yeah.
abused, used, and lied to. And it's like, I don't understand why there's not somebody representing you out there and on the TV, like saying, "Hey, come to us," you know?
Well, there have been some. I mean, we had that
Right.
really good Leah Remini, Scientology. She did a really good show, and then we had Norway for a while. Norway was
Yeah.
really making some big a big issue for them. So
Okay.
I'm encouraged by the people that are doing it, and there
Yeah.
are a lot of people like that are. I would love. I mean, my dream is to see like something happen in the U.S. that
Right.
is a court is somewhere along the lines of the ARC, but I don't know
Yeah.
if we'll ever
That
see
would be
something
the
like that.
Australian Royal Commission.
Yes, there's Australia. Excuse me, Australia Royal
I,
Commission.
I just want to see it on TV every day when I look at it and go,
Yeah,
if anybody's been abused by, Jehovah's
well,
Witnesses, come forward.
yeah, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. I'd love
it's
that
gotta be
myself.
profitable.
Oh,
They won't put it
JP,
on there
it's
unless
saying the
it's
same thing
profitable for
again,
them.
that you'll need to connect your mic and cam before you can be added to the stream. That is so odd, because that's never happened with you before, ever. So maybe if you can go to the app, I don't know. I'm going to let you figure it out. I'm sorry, JP. Yeah. So there are cases, and the organization is very big on silencing
Yeah,
anything that's
Yep.
going on out there publicly.
Yep.
I mean, if anybody makes a comment about them in even a newspaper article,
Threatening.
they sue them. This happened in Spain.
Yeah.
Somebody called them a sect, and Watchtower sued them. And
And we
a
know
few
how
weeks
trigger
later,
happy they are.
a judge in Spain declared them a sect. But that was after Watchtower sued the crap out of this guy, who was somebody trying to bring awareness of the organization.
Yeah.
Robert, I just want to say,
Yep.
I
Yep.
think with the YouTube channels the way that they are, and with all the changes that
Right.
Jehovah's Witnesses are making, the cat is really out of the bag for quite a few. I mean, there's so many PMOs inside. They're going to blow up from within, in my opinion. But I mean, I would love to see a real legal case here in the U.S. that gets a
Yeah.
decent
Yeah.
degree of publicity.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about there.
Mhm.
That's what I'm looking for, and I want it to happen.
Oh, me too.
I've heard all the stories that I know about you guys. So yeah, that's what I want.
Me too, man.
I appreciate that. That declares you an ally. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've always been that way anyway, because we've talked and I know all about it pretty much. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about it. So
Yeah,
it's
they've done a lot of
really
damage.
sad to me about what you.
the guilt that will be given to us from our families is like beyond Jewish mother guilt. Okay, it's wicked. Okay, it's really bad, really bad.
What happened to Robert? Oh well, where'd he go?
I don't know. He must have accidentally dropped out.
Where are you from, Dallas? I mean, you could be from Dallas, but that would be too redundant.
I've lived in 3 places I know, but I did live formerly. Right now I'm in the Aberdeen area, North Carolina.
Okay.
But I formerly lived my second home, which is a former home. It's in 30 minutes outside Dallas, Texas. But I'm actually native, you know what? Pennsylvania.
Okay.
South Central Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'm
Nice to
sorry,
meet
JP. It's saying the same thing.
I wish we
It's
could.
still saying you got to connect your.
Does he
mic
have the
to your
app?
camera.
Does he have the StreamYard app, or does he just go online?
I don't think there is an app, but
There's an app. I have the app. It works better.
I see. Okay. Evidently, there's an app, JP.
Mm-hmm. And download the app.
Keith says it works better.
It does. Download StreamYard, the app, and then it should be a little bit more functional, I think. Because if you're just doing it from the web, I don't know.
Yeah, I believe he's following the link I have at the top of the chat.
Were you raised JW, Dallas?
Yes,
Okay.
but I always had my doubts, even at Most Faithful. So mostly the most faithful I've ever been was, as I know of, is the occasional PIMQ, but mostly PIMO.
Okay. Wow.
It's because I didn't believe everything. That's why, and everything didn't make sense
That's
to
for
me.
sure. Yeah, me neither.
As much as I wanted, but I did some things because I wanted to do right and wanted a relationship with God and Christ.
Sure. Yep, I get it.
And I tried and did my best, and I've had many that I loved, and I still love them today.
Me too.
I love them to death. I do, and I now feel just so sad for the ones I got along with that I love so much.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Talking to my dad, he's, his health is up in the air pretty much. So it's like hard to talk with him because I don't want to get him upset because he's kind of on the way out the door. And it's just like, it comes up because I told him, I said, I'm sorry, I don't want to make you upset, but you have to put into perspective that I was born and even bragged about the fact that I was a pioneer in the womb, and that I was always, everything was about Jehovah's Witness. I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. What's your name? Oh, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. You don't have an identity. And then all of a sudden I find out all the dirty little secrets and you want me to not think about it and not talk about it after years and decades of telling me that's all I need to do is talk about Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I can't talk about Jehovah's Witnesses.
No. Yeah, I don't feel guilty about speaking
and I
about
went
it.
15 years of not talking about Jehovah's Witnesses because I thought, so it was just like, you have to look at it from there. Like, there's no way that I can just not say something when
Right.
you say
Sure.
something
I think it's
that I know is
much
not
more healthy,
okay.
much more healthy to speak about it than to just pretend like you're supposed to move on. I really don't. I don't. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but
it was
I
part of
know
who
I'm
we
breaking
were.
his heart. Like,
Right.
but I continue to say I have not done anything to you personally. I have not done anything to my sister personally. Like when I was there with when my mom died in June, it was just, I went down there and it was awkward because I didn't go to the funeral because it was a Jehovah's Witness funeral, and I knew what it was going to be like. And they all traveled down to the same congregation that all the pedophilia happened in my childhood. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going there. So I went to the house like a week later with the kids because my dad was asking what I wanted from my mom. And at first I was just like, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. But then I didn't, I thought about the generational trauma, and I didn't want my kid's story to be, I didn't even get a chance to go pick something out of my grandmother. So I was trying to live in two worlds,
Right.
a world of protection and a world of, you know, living their story too. So it's been rough, but I've been getting through it. But my sister, we got into, because she was just like, said something about my brother coming because he wasn't originally coming to the house. I was going to go meet him, but it was 2 hours away and then we was already tired for travel. So I invited him, and my dad was fine with it. And then my dad asked him if he wanted her piano, and he was like, sure. So then my sister the next day was like, I'm mad that Chris is coming. And I'm like, why could you possibly be mad that Chris is coming? And she said, because he's just coming to get things. And I'm like, I really am trying to be patient with you
Okay.
because I don't
Wow.
understand, like, because he didn't even want to come here because of the way that you guys treat him and the fear of the way that you guys will treat him. And then you say
Yeah.
stuff like that. You have no idea what this boy has been through. And it's just like, whoa. But I kept it together. And then we got into conversations about the jewelry the girls picked out. And she said you should just bag it up age appropriately and give it to them, when they become of age or whatever. And she said, and then she just added, oh, just don't give it to them on their birthday. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
okay.
Hell no.
I'm
Okay, so those that aren't Jehovah's
at
Witnesses,
this point, I'm like,
they don't celebrate birthdays. So what her sister
even
just did was
Jesus turned over tables with anger. Okay, so I'm about to
create a
like,
condition.
so I'm like, excuse me. Mother's dead, okay, for one, and for our beliefs, she wouldn't be calling anything to mind and won't be calling into mind even when she's resurrected. So you can't have it both ways.
Oh wow, good for you. How did that go over?
And I can give my kids jewelry from their grandmother anytime I want to.
That's right.
Yeah.
But then I did lose it and I cried and went in the
Oh, it
bathroom.
sucks.
And then she
I've done the
disappeared
same
for the
thing.
remainder of the time we were there. And my daughter kept saying, "Oh, where's Aunt Kim? Where's Aunt Kim?" And I
Oh,
said, honey, I don't know how to tell. I don't know how to explain
exactly.
this. Like
Especially trying to explain it to
and
kids.
it's not.
They don't get it.
It wasn't that she was at a different house. She lives in a building behind my father's house, so it's 10 feet away. So she comes out 30 minutes before we left and took some, photos and pictures because, my daughter was like, can I go knock on the door? And I was like, I don't know, just wait. And she was like, well, I don't want to leave and not see her. And I'm like, I know, we'll knock on the door before we leave, I promise. So it's just like I'm the strings of just emotional tug is just
Totally.
insane.
And what your daughter was talking about
But
is
then
totally
I
natural.
also
It was natural for her to want to see your auntie and stuff.
Yeah.
And how do you explain
well,
that they
yeah,
don't
she's
look at
curious
it the
about her
same way?
family.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. How do you explain this to kids who are just like beautiful, innocent little guys trying to figure out how, why this is happening? It's so insane.
Because the
It's
family thinks I'm demon possessed.
Yeah,
They
and
have
I'm
a
like,
problem
you
with
know,
you, sweetheart. Like, really? That's just, how do you explain that to a kid? You know?
yeah, and I'm like bawling my eyes out all
Yes.
the time. And like, how do you explain all that to kids too? Like, you try to hide it, but as much as I've been through, like, I'm not perfect.
Well, it's very
I can't
hurtful
always keep
things
it together.
that are being said. They're very hurtful things that are being said.
yeah. Like they say time heals, but I mean, I don't talk to my mom and dad. I love them both. And they're not perfect, but they're my parents, And you can't it doesn't go away. I mean, I wish I could just, call my mom and say, "Hey, even though I'm not in the cult anymore, can we go out for coffee or whatever?" But I mean, most relationships, people keep them if you're in a religion, even like whatever religion. A lot of people, they can just keep going, and you know, yeah. I especially for kids, especially grandkids or mom and dad can't talk to grandma anymore. It's like, what's going on? It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I don't. When I see XJWs that I've known a really long time, I was just at a funeral, and in fact, the gentleman who killed himself
Oh my
was an
God.
ex Jehovah's witness, and we went, and
Okay.
it was crazy. So there were all these witnesses there, and then with all these other people there that knew him, and um, it's uncomfortable when you're around your friends and they want to talk to you, but they also are still indoctrinated. But there's ways of saying stuff. I don't know. I mean, I tried to just be like, I love you guys, but I moved on, and this is really wrong. I mean, it's insane what's been done to us. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard because it's your family. It's like
Right.
Let's
people you've known since you were little kids. You know.
Absolutely, I agree.
let me not forget the other tidbit that they had that funeral, and my brother was invited to the funeral, but they were,
He was or was not.
they have family events afterwards and stuff,
Right. Right.
and he wasn't invited to that,
Yeah.
but he
I know a kid. I know a kid
was
whose mother
invited to the
died.
Kingdom Hall.
I know
That
a
is
kid
so
whose
wild.
mother. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dinah. Sorry.
No, I don't.
No, I mean, I know a kid whose mother
But we're
died,
good.
and they wouldn't let him go to the funeral. And he's
Yeah.
like 16, 17. He can't go see his mother. Um, he didn't do anything wrong. He just couldn't handle it. He he had been molested too, so it's disgusting. It's such a evil thing to do to someone, to make mothers and fathers treat their children like they don't exist. All of it. It's so psychologically manipulative, and it's one of the worst parts of this religion. I think it's probably the worst. Well, it's one of the worst. One of the worst. But it it just shows that it's the only weapon they have to shut people up. And I'm not going to shut up. So, I mean, I think it's really important to speak out, speak loud, and be proud that we got out, that we're living our lives, and I am proud of anyone that leaves, especially PMOs that are dealing with situations with families. It takes enormous courage because you're. Anyway, I just have such respect for people that leave, even though it's not easy. I mean, if you, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I
the
feel for
org
it. Go
org
ahead.
has
Sorry.
us positionally dependent on the org or people
Well,
from the org, like our
right, because
parents.
Right. Well, we're naturally dependent on one another that way. That's the way it is.
Right on, Keith and Linda. Right on.
Well, everything's not safe outside of the organization,
Right.
so
That's what they
you're
told us. Yeah.
constantly tied to that your mentality that if you're
Exactly.
not with them, then if you know
If you're not with them, you're against
you're
them.
gonna die.
Right. You're
And the
going
only
to
reason that you
die,
see things
I'm gonna
differently is
die.
because Satan's leading you.
and you'll probably go become a murderer and a drug
You're gonna die,
addict.
and it's just like I was telling
No.
Brandon at the
Yeah.
convention that I went to. I said because we were kids, growing up in this thing, they would tell us, we were responsible to preach at school
Right.
for these kids
Crazy
because
burden.
we may this is what they told us.
Right.
We may be their only hope of survival. So to put that on a child, like for me, I was like, especially since because I was already messed up because I was abused at like, I don't know, 6 or 7. So my mind was already
Sorry.
crazy. But so I would go into a classroom and I would look around at these faces and I would literally think to myself, you're all going to die because I'm your only hope and I can't help you.
It's a lot
So
of
that was
pressure.
the sick stuff
That's such an unfair
that
burden
went
to
through
put
my
on.
mind when my first day of school
Absolutely.
happened was you're all going to die
Yeah.
because you're my responsibility. Craziness.
But we survived. Look at us. We're living. On Saturday mornings, I get up and I do whatever the hell I want to do. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what? That's a good point, Keith. Dinah Lost, you have turned things around.
Good for you.
You've turned things around to where your children are not being raised in this organization. Yes,
I
you might
mean,
have some fumbles and trips and falls and stumbles, but you do get yourself back up again and you keep going without running back to the org.
Good for you.
If you
I
do need
haven't.
to, I mean, that does happen too, but your children, listen to me. My daughter just bought her she just bought a home. Okay? I attribute that to me not raising her in the org and raising my kids to have such a better outlook than what we were given. You know what I'm saying? She's the person I was going to be, if that makes sense, And,
Yeah.
She's made a few mistakes and stuff and has had her consequences. But she bought herself she bought a home today. And that's just something I could never do. I maybe will someday, but you're going to I've watched my granddaughter go to the prom. Okay? Which
That was
is a
fun, I
forbidden.
bet.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
celebrated my birthday last year with my friends.
Yay.
It was awesome.
I wore
So you're doing this amazing
pants the
thing.
whole 15 years I was physically out, mentally in.
Right on. Right
It takes
on.
a while. It does, huh?
Yeah.
Eh.
So either it does get better.
Yeah.
I am.
And understandably so. You're going through it circumstantially. This death of your mother, having to be around your family and their mindset and how you're being treated, and you're watching your brother be treated unjustly, and they do it with such entitlement, as if the people they treat bad deserve it, which they don't usually. Okay, it's hard to watch.
No one deserves it ever. It's ridiculous.
No,
But
you don't. Mhm.
that's usually the mindset that they have.
It's crazy
know.
because my grandmother was consoling me and telling me. She was telling me my grandmother's a Jehovah's Witness, but she was telling me that these righteous people, they have no place in God's whatever. I don't know how she put it, but it was just like it was the fact that she knows she's a Jehovah's Witness. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry.
I'm really
My
glad she said
grandmother.
that.
My grandmother is a Jehovah's Witness, but my sister is a remote Bethelite. as well as her husband, a remote Bethelite. So there's where you get a righteous picture text there.
Can you
But it was
explain
crazy
what
to
a
hear
remote
two
Bethelite is?
different witnesses. A remote Bethelite is someone who works on the computer for Bethel. So they're not necessarily in New York, but they are working at New York from their computer. So they're both computer people. They work on programming, software stuff. They're engineer,
Okay, they do that job.
graphic
at home.
design,
Okay,
security, cybersecurity.
interesting. Okay.
So yeah, so they consider themselves a little bit fluffy.
Yeah.
And I'm writing a book, and all this is going to be in it.
Good for you. And you know what? People who are coming along in 5-10 years from
And
now
I'm
or
putting
whatever,
out.
them reading about this is going to be extremely helpful for them.
Yeah.
You know, and the people that have left are, you know, blazing a path for other people that are going to have the courage to leave. I really believe that in 2 or 3 years, this is going to they have already shrunk. They don't have the magazines. Their ministry is basically dead. I mean, I don't know. I hope, and I'm just hoping that maybe a couple years from now we'll see a lot more exiting. But who knows?
I just couldn't believe like the things that had rolled out recently. Like
It's incredible,
here
isn't
you
it?
go, which is why I started doing videos again, because I've been wanting to do videos and a lot of stuff. I just 2 kids and craziness, but the
I wanted to
they
bring
come out with this watchtower that says, "Oh, you're probably gonna have a full life," and then they come out and say, while you're at it, you can we need donations. Oh wait, you don't have money. Since you're gonna have a full life, and we know that you're gonna have a full life, why not have a full education? Because Galatians 6 whatever says get your own. And I'm like, okay, well, how about you apply Galatians 6 to your own organization and stop asking people for donations? Because Galatians 6 says to hold up your own. So why are you asking for donations? And then they're going to talk about monthly withdrawals. Like, come on, people.
Oh, they've been doing that for a while
This is
now.
crazy. You can't see how much focus is on money.
It is. It's all money, money, money.
Yep.
Money.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a little
Money
emotional.
talk.
I've been a little emotional recently.
Donna,
Well,
you were saying
you can be as emotional as you want. Go for it.
And
Donna, you were saying
very
about
normal
your
right now.
mom's death,
Yeah, she died in June.
but you still have your grandma.
I do. She's
In that area, you're
with
so
her.
lucky. You are luckier than I am in that area.
We're not. I mean, we're not really associated because she's a witness. But she does, chat, do small talk, and I exchange photos.
And I think I just didn't have mine as long. That's what it is.
I understand. I haven't really I have a separation with death, I think, because of I don't know, if growing up everybody was going to die anyway, so what,
Right.
and the end goal was to die. So because everything was praised, like after you die this happens, after you die this happens. I'm like, well, let's get to it. Like, what are we waiting for?
Right.
So
from
my
beginning
first
to
suicide
after death,
attempt
right?
was in school.
Oh my goodness.
In elementary school. My first suicide
You were
attempt was in
saying
elementary
you
school.
saying in
I hung
school that
myself- I hung myself from my book bag, and
Oh my God.
if it wasn't for my book bag breaking,
That sucks.
And it's like that was my
Absolutely.
mentality. Like that's what I grew up
Yeah.
with. It's just
Though they make
death,
us
death,
feel, they made
hate,
us feel
death.
so worthless. I mean, we could never do enough.
Oh, I was worthless.
And then it's
was like-
inevitably a situation where kids can get abused by parents and get reinforcement for doing it. I mean, they get supported. It's incredible. I mean, I
Yeah.
I don't. Some of us. I mean, there are a lot of people that just
Mhm.
can't handle it, especially waking up and losing their family, the cousins or whatever. It's a lot. You have to be really strong. And I have anybody that has left. I mean, unless you've been through it, you don't know. But man, it is psychologically, it hurts. It's a lot to process.
And you don't know unless you know. It's just one of
Exactly.
those things.
Yep.
Because talking to people that understand it is just a completely different world
Absolutely.
than talking with people
Yeah.
that just didn't experience it. It's just one of
Right.
those things that you have to experience it to understand the gravity of it.
Totally.
Because
I
when you
told
tell
Linda.
people, you know,
I call Linda
I
when
grew
I'm.
up a Jehovah's
Go ahead.
Witness, they're like, oh wow, like they're astonished.
Yeah. But they don't like get what you're going. Yeah. Like I call Linda. I've called Linda a couple times when I'm having panic attacks. You know, and it's just like comes on, and you start freaking out, and you're like,
I
okay,
had to
it's not the
message
end
her.
of the world. You know, it's okay. But yeah, the conditioning is real. The psychological effects are real, and it takes time for your brain to kind of
Yeah,
heal. But it's nice to
Yeah.
have people that really empathize and understand. I mean, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it's not the end of the world statement like didn't really like dawn on me until recently because I was like, oh, that's right. It was the end of the world. Everything was the end of the world. Every day was
Yeah.
the end of the world. Next day was the end of the world. Everything was about being the end of the world. So of course, I think everything is the end of the world
Right.
Right.
because it was the end of the world.
Mm.
Every day of my
Yep.
life was about the end of the world.
That is so true.
I had to wear dresses because it was the end of the
Right.
world. Like, come
My
on, this is crazy.
my dad was super preemie, and so I remember I was on a swing set with my friend because he wanted to move to China. My father did because the end was coming, and we really needed to help the Chinese people. It's very important. And I told my friend, I said, "We're moving to China," and he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, my dad said we're gonna go to China because we have to tell people about God."
Oh my.
I mean, when you're that age, you don't know. You
Right.
But I've healed a lot. I have a therapist. He's amazing. Get a therapist. Everybody that leaves, I'm telling you, man, get somebody that you can just let it all out. And if you need medication to kind of sleep and for anxiety, do it. And get friends. I mean, I made some really amazing friends outside of it. I mean, I got Linda. I call her and bug her all the time. She's awesome.
Oh, I'm not. I can't input. I don't bother people.
No, she's great.
I try to be a bug on the wall for most of the part, but
Oh,
at the
don't do
same
that.
time, I just pop my head out and scream every once in a while and put a video out and a song.
By the way,
Wait, you have a channel?
and
I haven't seen
pop
your
my head
channel.
back into my hole. Huh?
I got to go on your channel. I didn't know you had a channel.
Yeah, I just did a new song, which I was pretty happy about my new song.
Awesome.
But I used technology, so
Me and this one guy are trying to do a song called "The Sound of Shunning" instead of "The Sound of Silence."
oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
The sound
So we're
of
like
I'm
shunning.
shunning the
the
sound
sound of
of
shunning.
shunning.
I mean,
Wow.
I could probably help you with that.
Yeah, go for it. I'm a
I'm very
musician. I'm a
good.
professional musician.
I'm very good at parodies. I
Sure.
actually have a couple.
If you
I
got
have
some
a lot
lyrics
of
you want to throw my
content
way,
lined up. Huh?
you got some lyrics you want to throw my way, I can get in the studio. I'm a pianist. I can do it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I could get a really good song going for us.
Well,
I-
see,
We're trying to write.
that's why I started using technology because I had like a mental issue with music. I love music.
Oh, it's
Like
great. Music's good.
I'm not going to say that I'm a singer, but I would say that I'm a songwriter. And so, but the music, my mother was a musician.
Oh, cool.
And that was one of her things that everybody was kind of liked about her and made, her sparkle. But she's, she was a narcissist too. So you have to, she did sparkle on the outside. But she played clarinet and oboe and, pretty much anything wind instrument she had on lock. And she was in the Mobile Opera and the Mobile Pop Symphony and all that good stuff. She was good. But I didn't want to follow in the footsteps of anybody. I didn't want to do music. Like, I didn't want to play. So I never learned music, like how to read it.
Yeah.
Well, you say it is impressive,
So how I
Dinah.
got through it is I would listen to someone play. I would listen to someone play and I would figure out how to play it. And that's how I learned how to do music.
A lot of people.
So I never learned how to read it, and I can't do my own tunes.
Mm.
Like, I can't do my own beats, but I can copy.
Sure. Well, I think writing songs about the experience is a good catharsis. It's really good therapy. And journaling has helped me, and talking. I call my friends. I have, thanks to Joe and Fran, have a huge list of people, and I just because of them, I've been able to make some new friends. They're awesome.
Yeah, I'm afraid of people. Like I said, I
Yeah.
come out every once in a while and scream and
Well,
and then I run away and hide because I'm just like, nobody wants to talk to me.
I had agoraphobia, you could say, for a while.
Huh?
Yeah,
Me
I was
too.
kind of scared of people for a while because we were trained that way. We were trained everyone else
Oh,
is
yeah.
worldly, and But
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really wonderful people in the world. You just got to get to know them.
I do agree. That is the absolute truth right there.
Yep.
If somebody hugs me, I reach in my pocket to see if my wallet's gone.
And Donna, that was impressive about the instruments. But if you were to do that, I'm sure that you wouldn't have been allowed to take instrument lessons, would, if I ain't mistaken.
There was a conscious matter. My mother fought for that because she was a musician.
Well,
so
make sure
she fought for it with the organization and made sure that she had the whole thing locked on scriptural bases and blah 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 blah. I mean, she was righteous.
Well,
She was definitely righteous.
they were really pushing make time for the more important things, and of course, the more important things are everything else. They want.
Oh, well, I had to pioneer.
Oh yeah, most important thing ever.
I mean, that
Knock
was
on a stranger's
part
door.
of it. That was part of the whole thing, is that, well, you can't take away from extracurricular activities, take away from time that you can be preaching the good news. And so
The evil news and bad news.
if we did band and marching band and extracurricular activities, for music, then and pioneered at the same time, then we were meeting both goals.
Yeah, we're trying to get back to the top. We're trying to get back to the topic.
So it was okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I mean, when we're meeting people out that we've known for a long time, and the anxiety of it, I know for me, I was just reading one of the comments. I don't know. I mean, anxiety, for me, if I saw my dad or my mom or people that I've known for a long time, I don't know what to do. But I love them still. I just don't cower like I used to. I used to be a lot more apologetic, like it was my fault. But now I'm just like, this is on you guys.
Everything was our fault.
Right.
It must have been us. Yep. Grow was asking me, Linda, you wanted to talk about how people can deal with the anxiety of meeting elders and others and not having to explain anything to anyone. Do you guys have any ideas of conversation stoppers? Like, okay, somebody's asking me something, and then I'm needing to have something in my mind that I can retrieve to stop the conversation because I don't want to be answering to them. And like I could say, yeah, I don't talk about that, or something to that effect.
Yeah, I mean,
You have
what?
anything that's kind of a conversation stopper that
I
literally
find my
says,
beliefs to be personal and only talk with it personally with God. I find my beliefs to be personal and only conversate with God about my beliefs.
Well, I
okay,
just
well,
say to them, well, you guys believe in the Bible and that you're allowed to feed your enemies and bless them and stuff. But apparently that I don't know. I mean, it to me it just I've tried to reason with them and I've tried to come up with like the perfect thing to say, but I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like throwing my hands in the air, being like, when you're that brainwashed. I mean, I don't know. There seems to be there's a wall.
it is a wall. Trying to reason with them is not. No, I do understand that, and I get involved in that. But when you have the mindset that they're going to
Right.
show up and they're going to be
Right.
questioning you,
Right.
have you answer to them? Is there anything we can say to them that
Good question.
shuts the conversation down and sets a boundary? Not,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Not having
Yeah.
convincing them why we're not going to go to the Kingdom Hall anymore if they ask us, why haven't you been at the Kingdom Hall? We've missed you,
Yeah.
or these questions that they'll come up with. It could be anything. It could be somebody that you see at the store that's a fellow, brother or sister, or it could be an elder. And again, back to what I was saying earlier, when somebody shows up unannounced, that is socially unacceptable.
Totally.
Unless you've told them, drop by anytime. Anytime you're here around, drop by anytime.
They're so
That's
entitled
socially,
that they think they can do that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's true.
they intend to do that on purpose
Sure.
to catch you off guard. So
Well-
if they show up and if you do choose to open the door, which you do not have
It
to,
is.
okay?
It's harassment. Yeah.
You can say to them,
Well,
you know what, this is not a planned visit. We can set up an appointment. Or I'm not willing to set up an appointment, or I'm not willing to talk with you. If they ask you a question, yeah, I'm not willing to talk to you about this. And
Who opens
Yeah.
the door?
Yeah, it's important to really figure out a way to stand up for yourself and say something that sets a boundary.
Just
And yeah,
the boundary is not opening the door. Like, don't even acknowledge their existence. Like that. Let that be the boundary, and then
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it. That's not your problem. That's their problem. They're
well,
the
I
ones
just
that
think
came
living your
unannounced.
best life, being successful, being happy. My brother always tells me, he's like, when I see them, I just smile at them, say hi, and like he doesn't play along with it because I mean that kind of you just kind of break the spell because they're too afraid to talk to you. And I mean, if I see something, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I don't, I mean, it doesn't have the hold it used to have on me where I would be like ashamed and I would feel like guilty and stuff. Now it's like, I'm very open about it and I'm proud about that. It's taken me a while to be open about it, but yeah, you have I don't know. I think there's a way you can say it that's respectful, but also like you guys, what you're doing is wrong. The rest of humanity looks at you guys and I mean, I don't know. I think most of the yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I don't know what to do.
Put me on the calendar to go to the Kingdom Hall the week
Yeah.
after you go to a stand with me, because you're supposed to see both sides of it, right? So if I'm going to this holy light over here that all this new light comes out of, then you're going to come to the dark side over here, and we're going to figure out how dark it can get. But we got to do that first, and then I'll come to the Kingdom Hall. We can get cleansed. Come on, let's set the calendar. Which one of y'all are coming?
I have a friend I was telling
what
him.
you guys are all talking about is having dialogue. And I'm actually not asking for that. I'm asking for a conversation stopper. Like
what? So like, what's a good phrase you could say? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not willing to talk about that with you today, Keith. or any day.
Right.
See,
That's good.
you just asked me a question and I'm not going to answer to you.
That's good.
That's what
Yeah,
I
that
have to
works.
come up with. Something to where
Well,
it
I
just
think
shuts.
they came up with, I mean, the not interested thing worked pretty well. Not interested. They closed the door on our face. Like, what do you turn around and walk away?
I guess
I,
that's possible. I guess that's
I,
I mean,
actually is
well, I would welcome them. Actually, I mean, I'm talking about people that are still angry and wouldn't, this is going to trigger them. But if they came knocking on my door, I'd be like, please come see.
I just dress up
And
as
I have a couple
Satan.
videos to show you.
I dress up
They
as the
they're
devil
coming
on
to my home.
Halloween and I knock on their
And I
door.
will show them my YouTube channel and I will get started.
Good morning.
Natalie Garfield says, sorry, I have to go to college because
I can now.
and just
That's
step
a
out
good
the
one.
door.
That was
Just step
awesome.
out the door. And
No,
Rose
we
says,
should just all go to
Best life never. The governing nobodies. Yeah.
governing
We got
nobodies.
some good ones.
I don't think I can make any comments on that from men who claim not to be inspired. Makes
Sorry,
no
I have to go to
sense.
college so I can
I don't
make
I
a
don't
living.
know what will inspire them though.
Well, yeah. The thing is when somebody is coming to you in a manner that is, they have a place of authority and power over you, and
Right.
that's what's so
Yeah, you just
makes
don't
them
let them.
what precisely. How do we not let them? Is what I'm
You
trying
say
to come up with.
cheers.
I mean, you got to think that they're sheep. I mean, the mentality of the sheep going around the fire. They're literally just sheep going around the fire, and you're trying to tell the sheep not to follow the sheep in front of them. Like they're following a script. They're doing what they're told to do. They're good little sheep. And they'll go round and round in that circle and around that fire in fear, following the sheep's ass in front of them.
And see, that's the point that, like, if they have us in a place of having high anxiety or we're nervous,
Sure.
it's that thing about that's actually a trauma bond thing.
Sure,
If you can scare the
Yeah.
crap out of somebody,
Right.
that creates a trauma bond, and it makes it much more easier to manipulate someone and direct them in the manner you want to direct them.
Well, we were used to having buttons that they could press. Yeah, they could press certain buttons with us before, and now we're having to undo that and figure out a way to react differently. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's not something we're used to. So the mindset of thinking ahead of time, of having a few conversation stoppers that put you in control of the conversation ending, this would be helpful, because what we've been trained to be is in a position of they are the teacher, we are the student.
Right.
And we are to just comply with what the teacher says. And if they keep us scared, we're going to follow their directions even more so, or we will be inclined to do that even more so. An example, if you're in a store, you hear the fire alarm go off, and then you see the black smoke, you're thinking, okay, we have a fire. Anybody who's in a uniform of that store that says the exit is, they have a thing of authority that they would know where the exit is, we're going to easily go in the direction that that person said to go in. So we won't stop and wonder. We will just automatically go to it because we're in a state of fear.
Sure.
That's what they're doing to us.
I think there's a way. I think there's a way to dispel their delusion of having authority over anyone. I mean, the elders, some of them are that delusional that they believe that they're appointed by God, I guess. But the role that they've played of having this kind of control over people, and people used, having that where they're used to being obeyed and used to being respected and used to being, crossing these totally inappropriate boundaries, showing up at hospital beds with a, whatever, all the incredibly intrusive and insane behavior. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you're dealing with somebody like that, I mean, legal action, just say, I'm going to call, I don't know. I mean, there's always something you can say to just say, look, you guys what you're doing not only is illegal, because it's illegal. Taking kids away, not reporting child abuse, at least that's a crime, and that's illegal. So, I mean, they're the ones who are sitting there. I mean, I don't know. I try to find a way to embarrass them. Like if I'm with one of my friends and they won't say hi to me, I'll be like, "Hi," and I'm very direct. I'll just say, I'm, I mean, if the elephant's in the room, I'm gonna say, look at the elephant. I mean, I don't care. I I think you have to make a joke out of it, and you have to just be like, this is really sad that you're that brainwashed that you can't see that what you're doing. I don't know, but I mean, I love just talking to him and being direct about it because I'm not ashamed of what happened. I'm proud that I left. I'm proud of who that we left. Good for us. But yeah, not carrying the shame and not feeling like it was our fault or we did something wrong and playing that game with them. I don't know. But it's tricky. But I think there are certain conversation stoppers, like you said, you can come up with certain things you can say that work for you. And I would love to have something like that. But yeah, I mean, I try
I
to just
mean, here's
ignore them.
one. Thank you for stopping by, but I'm no longer part of the faith and I'm not open to further visits. Please respect that.
Yeah, sure.
And see, bottom line, that's what they're trying to do.
I mean,
They're trying to get to that point of catching you at a place of not being part of, not wanting to be part of the organization so that they can make that announcement
Right.
that you are no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
And what they want to hear is that
oh,
you don't
so
want
we
to be
don't want
part of
them
the
to make
faith.
this announcement.
I'm sorry, go ahead. What did you say?
I said, so we don't want them to make an announcement. Is that what we're trying to avoid?
Some people would not, yeah, and some people don't care. But it
I like to walk up to them and just make a joke and say like, "Yes, now I'm a serial killer who loves orgies. Is that okay?" I don't know. Like, I mean, they've known me
I
for
know
30 years. They know that's not
being
who I am, but it's just
sarcastic,
like, you guys are,
yeah.
I don't know. Because it's just the stupidest thing in the world. They're so immature that they have to, like, play this little game like, oh, we're better than the whole world. The rest of the world is just stupid and mentally diseased. I mean, it's just the
And
stupidest.
but we've been trained to believe that they hold that position of power and authority.
Right. But
Okay,
they don't. And
so it's sort of a mind shift for ourselves. Like
exactly. No, you're
you were
right.
talking from the beginning of their delusion, right? So
Totally.
you already have the mindset that they don't have any jurisdiction over you.
Totally.
But
None.
somebody who's recently um,
Oh,
trying to avoid them, they're
absolutely.
not quite wanting to answer to them. The thought of them even being around them and questioning them gives them great anxiety, and they're just
Yeah.
kind of they're just that sense of they're going to show up any minute now,
Yeah.
and they have some memories associated with that,
Yeah.
past visits that they've been in the back hall,
Yeah. Yeah.
what did they
I
call
want to
it?
share. I just talked to my dad not too long ago. And he's used to having that kind of authority over me and being able to push those buttons. And
Precise.
I looked at him straight in the eye and I said, "Dad, I love you. I will always love you. Um, I'm not exactly sure about all the what happens when we die and everything. But I said I said to him, I said, "Do you believe lying is okay? Do you think it's okay to lie?" And he says, "Well, no." I said, "Well, I don't like being lied to, and I was lied to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm never going to come back." And he's like, "Well, when they mess up, they apologize." I said, "They never apologize for anything. You know it and I know it." And he was pretty sad about the whole thing, but I think a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, whether they want to admit it or not, in their hearts they kind of know. They know. I mean, they're not out there like they used to be knocking on people's doors trying to have a crazy discussion about the Trinity, or it's the preaching work is what, stand by a cart and hope nobody talks to you, I guess. But
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I don't know.
SB. I'm not able to bring you on the show because it's telling me that you need to connect your mic and your cam before I can add you to the stream. If you know how to connect your mic and your Cam, try to do that if you can. Okay? Sorry about that, sweetheart. And I'm now bringing up Grow. And to be honest, Grow is here. This is the whole reason I'm doing this subject, is because it was brought up earlier today on Six Screens. And I thought this is going to be a great subject that
It is. It's a good
many
subject.
of us dread. Okay?
Yeah, totally.
Welcome. Welcome, Grow. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
Oh, man, I can still hear it in your voice, sweetheart. Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? How much, and what they're doing is what is called an abuse of authority, an abuse of power, by the way that they're expecting you to answer to them,
Yeah.
and by showing up unannounced.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's one thing if a person is prepared to have themselves read out at the meeting that this person is no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. It's one thing. So some of the comments that was made tonight on, oh, you can tell them this, or you can tell them that, or you can tell them, oh, I don't want to be part of your sect or your religion anymore. If you have nothing to lose, then by all means, you can give that comment. And
Right.
Linda, what you said earlier on is true. A person can give that comment if, they don't have anything, um, they don't have anything to lose. But for someone who does not want their name dragged, and it's not only going to be read out at the meeting, but your name and your reputation is going to be twisted and dragged. If you don't want that to happen to yourself, of course, you're not going to give that answer for when um, uh, an elder come to your door or meet you in, out in public or meet you at the hall. You're not going to give that answer, but you're going to give an answer where they can't pin anything on you so that they can read you out at at the meeting. And so you asking that question at the start of your streamline is a very, very pertinent one. It's very, very important, especially for persons who are PMO. They're tired of being PMO, but at the same time, they don't want to lose their family, or they don't want to lose um, good friends. Not all friends are good, but there are some persons who have some pretty decent witness friends, and they don't want to lose these
Bless you.
ones. So then how do you answer when that question is phrased to you, when that question is asked of you, how do you give an answer that next week they're not going to read you out in the hall? What do you say? And Stefan gave a very, very um he gave a very good advice. He said, just as how we used to prepare for the theocratic ministry school when we had a part, especially for sisters, when we had a part, and we took weeks and weeks to prepare our part, or just as how the kingdom ministry in the 80s and in the 90s would have a phrase that you would use when you go out in service. You practice that over and over and over again, so that when somebody at the door would to ask you a question, you tie it back right into the catchphrase that they say you need to say for when you're at the hall. Practice it. Practice what
Yes.
you're going to respond with. Sometimes it's just one sentence. All
know,
you need to say is one sentence and leave it at that. And he said something um very, very interesting that I'm going to practice that and use that. He said that these men with their own mouths and on their own broadcast and in their own magazines, they admit that they're not inspired by God. They're not inspired. And so if they're not inspired, then you're not obligated to listen to them.
Correct.
So with him saying that, um, it kind of gave me um, a measure of peace.
Mhm.
Now, I have been out for about 2 years now, a little over 2 years, and I've been fine with it, because I have no family in this thing, like no family. But I do have some pretty close friends. Now, these friends of mine are dead asleep. They're so asleep
Mhm.
that sometimes some of the things that I would say would make them do a double take, and they would be like, they would get really nervous and anxious and worried about me being misled. So these are some pretty good friends of mine who are asleep.
Yes.
Now, um, earlier on in your show, months ago, Linda, when I had said, I think I can't remember who it was on your show as well, when they asked me, Nicole, do you have any family members in this organization? And I'm like, no, it doesn't matter to me whether they know my real name when I'm on a show or not. It does not matter. It does not matter. I said that in the beginning, but now after being away from the whole mix, over 24 months, I'm starting to feel the strain, because I don't know how PMOs do it, but it's only so long you can pretend, or it's only so long you can live a double life. Your real life
Yes.
is the one that you're living. The
Yes.
double one or the fake one is the one that you're putting on for them. It's
Exactly.
only so long a person can do that, and it does wear on your mental state. I
Yes,
don't
it
care what
does.
anybody say. Oh, I've been doing this for years and da 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 da. It affects you, and this is affecting me.
Yes.
So, um, and I've been going through a pretty hard time these last 3-4 weeks. I haven't been well, and to have that on as an addition
Mhm.
to what I'm experiencing is kind of, it's hard, man. I
It's
don't know
hard.
how
It's hard.
people can do it. Like Maverick said to me, he said, if you gotta put in your letter to get peace of mind, put in your letter. And as I said, I have no family to lose. I got no family to lose, but I do have pretty good friends. And these
Yeah.
friends, I depend on them, and they depend on me. And if I were to put in my letter, then that will sever the
Yes.
friendship. But it depends, and that's what I said. It depends on how they view our friendship. It all depends, because I know for myself, when I had some of my friends disfellowshipped years ago, I never stopped talking with them. I got in trouble for it, but I never gave up on them. I never stopped talking to them. I never saw the value of doing that to someone I consider to be a friend.
Totally.
But I don't know how these friends would
Right.
react toward me, you
So what
know?
I'm really hearing from you is you're attempting to avoid the smear campaign that
Yes,
will instantly happen once it is read from the platform that so and so is no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Ugh.
that's right.
And
Yes.
you said that you don't have family, but there's a husband you have, okay?
That's right.
And
Yes.
whether he is in a place of waking up or not, once someone becomes a non-believer, it is not uncommon for one of the elders to swing around and try to get the one that is still considered a believer to
Hmm.
leave the one who is a non-believer.
Yes.
Elders get in the middle of that right away.
And
Okay,
that's
so
where we're at. That's where we're
Wow.
really,
at.
So wait, you're
Yes.
still in,
wait a minute.
That's,
So
bro?
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Esty. I welcome you. I'm just knee deep in this conversation. Um,
Wow.
welcome, Esther. Are you saying that they've already approached your husband
They have. Yes,
to
they
talk to
have.
him
You
about
know,
leaving you
can I
Um,
or sowing
not
doubt
in
about you?
not in some so in doubts.
I
Let's
Okay,
can I just
yeah.
say something real quick?
sure.
Yeah.
When I was shunning my brother and friends I've had since I was a little boy, I talk to them now and I apologize to them, but I remember very clearly being under that spell of being brainwashed and doing that to people. And honestly, I really cared about the people that I was shunning. And I still think that the people that must be your friends, who I'm sure you've shared some incredible moments with, they must love you, but they're just as conflicted as I was or anybody else that's done that kind of thing. I mean, when you wake up and you see the Watchtower for what it is, it's I mean, I called a lot of my old friends and I apologized to them, people that I'd hurt. So I would just say, remember, your friends do really care about you, but they're just screwed up in the head because of their brainwashed. But
I get
I mean,
that. I
yeah, because
understand that.
they must love you. I mean, even though they're
I
conflicted.
totally understand that,
Yeah,
but I have tested it out on a
for
few of my
sure.
friends. Because I mean, it's not just one or two friends that I have. I have quite a number of friends, and I have tested it out. I've
Yeah,
tested out the waters by
wow,
mentioning concerns on
totally.
some of the changes, or
Yeah,
even
right.
mentioning concerns on the CSA.
Sure.
And I've had at least five of them cut me off. I'm
Okay,
not even
Crazy.
DF or removed or whatever fancy word they're using for it now, but I have been cut off,
Yeah, I
like
mean
blocked.
that recent drama they did at the convention is so insane. Where the guy's like, "Oh, I found this on the internet, or I'm realizing what the organization's about," and then they cut to Jesus and Satan on a mountain, and I mean it's pretty bad. They're I think they're desperate, these guys, and they're not going to have the hold that they used to have on it. I hope. I mean, if I can wake up and I was super peeny and I was bad, like I was very messed up. If I can wake up, I mean, there's always hope, and I hold on to hope for my parents, even though it's been 5 years, and that keeps me going sometimes because I've heard stories of people that have woken up and they get reunited with their mom or their dad or their friends, and it's not impossible for that to happen. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I I tried testing it with a couple of my friends too, and it's not easy. Uh,
it's not, and it's unfortunate that the way things are set up
yeah,
within this organization, and it's a subculture from society at large.
yeah,
Like it's even more of an isolated culture than mainstream Christianity. So
for
we're
sure.
already isolated to begin with,
Right.
and the way that they present it to the believers, the followers, is that you need to pick Jehovah first, as if there's this pecking order when it doesn't have to be that way. You can still love Jehovah and still be friends with someone who no longer believes.
Honestly,
It's your human right.
it's
Article 18 of the Declaration of Human Rights
but the word
says that
Jehovah
you have the
means,
human right to change your belief.
because of the conditioning, all Jehovah means the organization. There's no separation. There's
Right.
nothing. Jehovah says that we can have beards. Jehovah says that we can. I mean, it's all Jehovah this.
I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you something. When they've made those announcements, oh, there's an echo coming. When they've made those announcements, they've been saying the governing body
Right.
has decided, not even God. They're not even saying God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me welcome Esther. Hi, Esther. Thank you for being patient. I'm glad you're here. Everyone, I don't know why I'm getting that. Why I'm getting an echo.
Echo.
Yeah, I don't have it. Another's.
Maybe you could sound like you're in a convention.
Hi, Amber, and hi, Brain Drain, and hi, Natasha. I think somebody else showed up. I missed. KR, hi, I'm glad you're here.
We got some good comments.
Yeah, Diana Lost Again has all kinds of things she's coming up with. And there's, you know what? They call it spiritual warfare, that they lie to us for those that are not entitled to the truth.
Right.
They might not be entitled to the truth for what you're going through at this time either. You know, it might be when and if you're willing to tell them. And if they can, like, if you let them know that you prefer that they not show up unannounced, you know, you can actually threaten to you can call it harassment. And again, it's a habit that we've already gotten ourselves into, to have that mindset that we answer to them. Why do we answer them? Back in my day, when I was in New York, I was taught that Holy Spirit placed all of those elders right there.
Yes.
Okay? So if that's what's still being taught, if the governing body says that they are not inspired nor infallible, neither are the elders.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty tired, Linda.
I
just
do
love
agree.
love your show. I'm so grateful that we're having this conversation. It helps me heal, and you guys are great. Really nice to meet everybody, and just wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being here, Keith.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, thank you for
Nice to
being.
meet you,
Thank you
Dallas.
for being here with. Yeah, you going now?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm getting tired.
Take care now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You take care and
Thank you.
yeah.
Good night.
Night.
Well, hi there, SD. Hi, Grow.
Hi, Dallas.
Well, Shaq had put something, said something about October 4th. He did.
Somebody said something about October 4th.
What was going to be on October 4th? Shaq had typed it in, I saw.
Probably the annual meeting for the organization.
Why don't we rename the annual meeting?
Why don't we redeem it?
Rename it a different title.
You're good at this. Let's see what you come up with.
I'll type it in if you don't mind.
XJW Curious is in the house. My Apasta hubby is in the house. Howdy. What are we talking about tonight? Statements that are conversation stoppers for when
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
elders. Yes, I can hear you.
It's
When
typed
elders
in.
Okay. Was that you, Esther, that asked if we can hear you?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I can hear you.
It's Esty.
Thank you for correcting me. It's a dyslexic thing with me. I'm sorry, Esty. Forgive me. How are you doing?
What? Wait. Oh, I'm doing okay.
Can you come closer to the speaker?
Nothing
or
really
your-
going on.
Because you sound like you're far away, Esty.
I have all these. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay. I had all these.
I can
Wires tangled.
hear you.
Were
Go
you
ahead
guys
and
talking
repeat.
about the new Elders book?
The new, are you talking about the new Shepherd, the Flock of God book? I'm
Yeah.
having a hard time hearing you, Esther. But John says we can hear you, so that's good.
How about now?
Yeah, you're still sounding far away, and I'm going to plug in my headphones and see if I can hear you better that way too.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's just you're still sounding far away to me, and I don't know why. Again, can you speak up again, Esty?
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Okay, I can hear you better.
Hello, Linda.
Do me a
Hello,
favor.
Dallas. Hello, Grove.
Hey, Dallas, the next time you're going to cough or sneeze, try to
maybe 'cause
push
my
the mute
fan
button.
is on.
And
I forgot.
I can hear you. I know I would forget too. That's why I'm mentioning it. I was asking Falling Ashes. That's who I forgot earlier. Sorry, honey. I definitely can hear you better now that I put on my headphones. Did you want to say something about the Shepherd, the Flock of God book?
Oh, I don't know. I was not sure what you were talking about.
Okay, so we're talking about, but we can take. Okay, I'll let you know what we're talking about, but then the conversation can flow to other areas too. But what I was talking about earlier and is to come up with some conversation stoppers, especially for when we're kind of just trying to be not showing up at the meetings very much, maybe fading, and the elders come looking for us. Or maybe we're avoiding seeing other JWs from the hall, avoiding seeing, what would we say if we saw them at the supermarket or at JCPenney's or out somewhere where we're out walking. Like, the idea of dread comes to mind when, what if they ask us, why haven't you been at the meeting? And we really don't want to answer to them, but we have this sense of obligation to do so. So I was thinking we could come up with a conversation stopper. And it's a habit that we've gotten into, that we answer to them. We've just been trained to do that. But we could also train ourselves to be the one that ends the conversation in a manner that we don't have to keep answering to them. So it's kind of setting a boundary too. So I was asking people if they could maybe come up with some ideas of what could be conversation stoppers. I'm not available for spiritual surveillance. KR said, try asking me month 15 of the year, because there is no 15 months. I think KR said something earlier about the 30th of February. Think they have, I don't think February has 30 days. Yeah. So if we come up with an idea of what and plan ahead in our heads, that if we do get questioned, we would feel more equipped and we wouldn't have such anxiety, because it's very stressful to have that sense of dread. If you can understand that. Have you ever experienced anything like that you've tried to avoid, Esty?
I just usually cross the street. I don't confront them or
Right. So this would be if they try to confront.
many of the brother.
Go ahead.
If they try to confront us, I'll just say no, thank you. They might, if they don't know us, they might say, "What are you not interested in?" Then I'll just say, "I'm not interested in anything." Please walk away.
That's really
I
good.
do that
I like that.
people with people I do not know. But if I watch and see ahead of time that I know the people are at the church or car or at my door, the people, I don't open up the door. But if it's somebody that I don't know, then I don't mind doing that. I don't mind being sassy.
And see, that's what's hard about doing this with, say, an elder or someone from the congregation, because they're not strangers, and we have this mindset that they're in an authority position.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That
Position
is
of
it right
power.
there. That's
Mhm.
it. That's it right there. Because we have been indoctrinated and trained that way for years to think that, as you said, Holy Spirit put these men in that position. And so when they appear at your door or they meet you in person and they ask you the question, "Oh, we miss you. We haven't seen you at the hall for so long. What's going on? What's keeping you from coming to the meetings and stuff?" Then you're stumped. Especially if you don't
Yes.
practice and answer, you're stumped because you're trained in the Watchtower study that these men are looking after your souls. They're looking
Yes.
after your spiritual health. And so if they ask you a question based on your spirituality, you feel obligated to give them an answer as if you're looking for spiritual help. When really you're not. You just want to avoid them, but you're
Yes.
just stuck and frozen and have this fear that has been implanted in you for so long that you just don't know a good comeback. And as I said, if you got nothing to lose and you already are outside there and they consider you to be someone who has walked away, or they consider you to be an apostate, then you don't care. You can say whatever you want. But if you're not at that stage yet,
Right.
then knowing how to answer them without having your name smeared, that's key. That is what
Yes.
many PMOs are looking for. They're looking for that right phrasing of words
Mm-hmm.
so that they're not targeted at the hall. That's what they're looking for.
Yes. And to be honest, they'll say that they can't report CSA or share this information with the congregation if they found themselves to have come to know that someone has been involved with CSA. They don't share that with the congregation because that's slander. But if somebody is no longer wanting to be a Jehovah's Witness, the smear campaign, they will function in it as though they're entitled to speak terribly about you. So they're told by the governing body, look, you can get sued for that, okay? If you say that these people are what they are, right? but then they'll do it with somebody who's not a JW, right?
Mhm.
That's still wrong. Okay, so slander is slander. And that's why they took it down from so and so is no longer a Jehovah's Witness, or so and so is disfellowship for behavior unbecoming of a Christian, which is what was said when I was, back in the. That's how they used to say it, but now they have it so generic. So and so is no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Super generic. They're not saying, calling them names or whatever, but
And it covers everyone. So whether a person commit a sin or not, or a person decide that they no longer want to be a witness or whatever, that one sentence that they announce at the hall, everyone who is sitting there will automatically think you're disfellowshipped for doing
yes.
something wrong. And then they start to gossip.
And not only
That's when
that,
Mhm.
yes, you're right. But they add on, people only get disfellowshipped if they're not repentant.
Yes.
What could they have been? Why didn't they take the advice of the elders? That must be that must mean they're prideful and they know better than the elders, then they know better than God. Like it all this stuff gets added up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And we're
and then
welcoming back.
yeah. The thing about it is, as you said, it doesn't only affect the individual. It affects members of their family who might still be in. It affects them as well.
Yes.
So yeah, it's
Unless your
tiring.
family
It's
is
mentally
living
exhausting.
with
Yeah,
you. It
it's
really
mentally
is.
exhausting.
Because it's oppressive. This is oppressive. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy on you. It's oppressive. It's keeping you down as opposed to being able to be free and to be, spontaneous and everything. It's pressuring. All these different things. You don't want to stumble somebody, all just a whole bunch of guilt to be thrown on you. So yeah, these are things that start paying attention to when you hear somebody say something that, oh, that's a conversation starter. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to put that in my pocket and literally write it down somewhere. Because we're not used to thinking that way. We're used to thinking, an elder just asked me a question, I must answer them. They have power and authority over me. But to have the mindset that they have no jurisdiction over us is a different mindset. And that's what I'm calling a mind shift. They have no authority over us. Okay?
Yeah, anyway, Linda, I'm not gonna stay on for the entire show. I'll still be listening in.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm gonna say goodnight to everyone. If I'm not asleep by 3, then I just might come back in, but I think I'm calling it a night for myself.
Okay, get some rest.
Thank you.
Well, take care there, group. Take care.
Thank you,
Unless
Dallas.
until we see you back here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, what's on your mind, Esty?
Nothing much.
Nothing much. Okay.
No.
I used to, the person that's in the chat, XGW Curious, I used to do a lot of shows with him joining me. So I was just now looking at what he was saying.
Was he? Is that
Should I be curious? Yeah. Oh, I lost somebody. Okay. So I have Dallas with me. I lost Esty again. What's on your mind, Dallas? Anything?
Well, I've been reading everybody's thing, and then that manual, I heard about that, and I heard about how there's only one word of love in that whole Helder's manual.
I heard that too. And I've been meaning to look up because I did download the PDF, and I'm wanting to confirm that.
What we call the bullying the donkeys of God book, or the fleecing. We call it the beating the donkeys of Gog book.
Too funny. Too funny.
And the annual meetings, they're called accusation meetings.
Okay.
Because I think that's exactly what they deserve to be called.
There you go.
Everything that just needs to be made a fool of, when it deserves it. They make a fool of us. We didn't let them make a fool of us. We're going to make a bigger fool of them.
That's true. They did make a fool of us.
And we're going to make a bigger one of them. We are.
You know what, Dallas? I just checked this out, and that is correct. From what I'm gathering, love is mentioned once, and it's on page. It's in chapter 7, under meeting with the individual, and leading individuals to repentance. It has like an indentation where it says 1, 2, 3, 4. It does have these other numbers, but the indentation where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, on number 2 it says strengthen his faith in love for Jehovah. Help him think about and appreciate what Jehovah has done for him and how Jehovah has dealt with him in his scripture. This may help him to feel remorse to having brought reproach on Jehovah's name. There it is again. But yeah, I just put in love, went back and forth, and it just stayed at that same spot. I think that is correct. Love is only mentioned one time in this, the latest Flock of God book, which is the AKA the Elder's Manual, which is what they use for their decision making on everything, including judicial committees.
It's like that Vinny, the court that he was in, that Cousin Vinny movie, and how hard he had the book thrown at him. He had the book really hard thrown at him. They'll come down on you as hard as Judge Chamberlain. But that's a fictional story. It's a fictional place. It was actually filmed in Georgia, different than what it says in the video. And how he had been in prison multiple times, but then it came out with a good ending at the end. It's because movies that we watch on Discord on Wednesday, which we're on there.
Did you watch it last Wednesday after Joe and Fran's show?
I usually watch it so I can see who I meet up with. And sometimes I share things with you on Discord. If you
I've
ever
been I've been
get
pretty
it,
bad at checking messages. Sorry about that.
it's okay. When you get a chance, it's all right. And you aren't required, as Rick's show says, you aren't required to appear, even if you are served a summons.
To a judicial committee?
Yeah,
That's true.
they ain't the law right there,
Gru is
and
asking
you
me
can't be
how to.
convicted for contempt of court in that. Not by the Constitution.
I'm sorry, Dallas. I distracted myself. Please say
It's
that again.
okay.
Please say
They
that
can't
again.
convict you for a contempt of court.
The governing body?
No, they don't have that power. Or they couldn't even, they don't even have the power to have you arrested and incarcerated in prison.
Correct. The imprisonment is having us disfellowshipped and treated as though we are dead.
So
Which is worse than being put in jail. I'm sorry, go ahead, Esty.
if you are disassociated, are you still called removed?
Good question. I believe so. I believe it would be we removed ourselves, disassociated ourselves. And see, there was a time that if someone disassociated themselves, it was not, they were not considered someone to shun. It was only those that were disfellowshipped that the church, that the
Right.
congregation kicked out, not that they chose to leave.
They still talk to them, but I had people in the 90s where they had parties and they invited their disfellowship kids, and all they said is, well, you could talk to them, just don't talk to them about spiritual thing.
Did
This
they
is
live in the
fooey.
home?
Did they
Did
live
they-
in the home? No,
Okay.
but my roommate would invite them,
Okay.
and there would be other witnesses. So I don't know if she went around and told them, but if they were to talk to her disfellowship daughter, they're supposed to just not talk about spiritual things.
And I've heard that different congregations have different ways about them, and that might have, it doesn't seem like that's the standard, but maybe that was the case for that congregation or that circuit of congregations,
Well,
that could be the case.
a lot of the old timers, it's kind of like when they started with the Green Bible, and when they
Yes.
changed to Black Bible, a lot of people wouldn't change to Black Bible, and then people just give you dirty looks if you still had the green one.
Isn't that the truth? Oh my
I mean,
God.
they just make you do it, just really strong arm you into doing it. And before you know it, everybody had the Black Bible.
Mhm.
So back then, you can talk to disfellowship people, but only spiritual things. But people can't figure out what is spiritual things. Do you go to school now? What kind of job? Do you get a raise now?
Mhm.
You're not going to talk. Oh, do you get all your hours in
Right.
field service? Are you plan on going to Bethel? That's spiritual stuff. Wasn't that the best convention ever? That's spiritual, so you can't talk like
Right.
that. So then I guess it changed. I don't know. That's why
Ain't that
my
the
roommate didn't care that she invited her disfellowships daughters to her get-togethers.
And what they're really trying to avoid is the one that's no longer fellowshipping whatever they say spiritually to the JW. That's what they're really trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm. So So now
they-
it's reduced to you can only go to the Kingdom Hall, and if they go to the Kingdom Hall and not an apostate, you can greet them briefly.
right? And I'm hearing stories of like, I don't know why, but some JWs are like thinking that that means things are wide open for them to talk to disfellowship people. Have you heard that too?
I could see that can happen.
Yeah. So it's kind of different ways at different times. Dehydrated nurse, I didn't mention you, hun, when I was saying all that I saw there. I did see you earlier. Good to see you. I was going to ask dehydrated nurse a few things. I need to remember to private chat her because I was going to ask her a few things. She's a nurse. She's a real nurse. Even if I don't know if she is or not, but even if she's retired, she's got really good nursing. Once a nurse, always a nurse, right? That's like I'm a retired hairdresser, but I still, think about all that hair stuff. You got gaslighted for having a green Bible. That's what J.W. Curious said. I remember seeing a video that the organization did showing some people in Africa. It was very colorful. And I noticed that they were having like this little meeting in somebody's front yard, and they all were holding green Bibles. And that was like within the last 4 or 5 years that I saw that. I thought to myself, oh my God, they sent them that like the hand-me-downs. That's what it seemed to me like it was. Natasha Garfield said, when I disassociated myself in the mid 80s, I was worse. It was worse than being disfellowshipped. That's the way it is. It's like, how can you, the mindset of that you're taught to have is how can you know the truth and literally on purpose leave it? Yes, we can kick your ass out, but for you to choose and leave God, it's like you were worse than a serial killer. You were worse than just the worst of the worst. Whatever that is, you're worse than that.
The most degenerate is what they think that you are when you actually aren't that way at all.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But they have to vilify someone that no longer believes in that belief system. They have to vilify.
It's when after Ray Franz, he woke up, which it's a good thing he did wake up because he was right, absolutely right.
And it didn't happen overnight either. It was after an accumulated amount of time. This would happen here, and then something would happen there. And for him being part of the governing body, after he had done all kinds of, his service like all over the world, different places, and got ill, and he was truly a servant, of God and the organization. And then they wanted to bring him in as a governing body member, and so there was just different things that over time accumulated to where it was like he got to a point where him and his wife needed a vacation. Then they called him back to harass his ass, and man, that was terrible. So Dinah Lost says, I have a question. Does anyone in the chat know when JW.org said, beware of false religion ever changing? I don't recall them talking about false religion ever changing. And you tried to go to the stream, but your browser was blocked. I don't know what's up tonight. This is fascinating to me. A lot of people are having a hard time getting on here. I'm sorry, Elaine Brain Drain. Hmm.
Do you guys remember a time when long ago in 1970s, if you were not baptized by the time you were 16, you were considered bad, you were being marked as bad association?
You know what? That was never explained to me. And I grew up in the 70s.
Sounds familiar though?
It sounds like, yeah, it explains why I was treated the way I was treated.
Yeah.
You know, and I've since found out, you know, that because my dad wasn't always in the organization, he wasn't really a believer. He got baptized just, you know, actually in 1975 and was a witness for a few years or so, but he never really stuck with it. So my mother, my sister, and I, because he wasn't around, I came to find out that we would be considered spiritually weak. But I didn't know this as a kid. And then I tried to study at like 16 or 17. I couldn't make it make sense. And then at the 6-month part, they dropped me. So I must have definitely been on that marked list. Okay. Welcome, Pete. Welcome.
What's
Well, hi.
going on? Can you hear me?
I
Hi,
can.
I can hear you. Hi, there, Pete.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
So they released a new Shepherd the Flock of God book, huh?
Yes, they did.
Oh boy, looks like I got some reading to do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, sir.
To see what kind of little surprises they're hiding in this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did you get my message that I left you last week on Saturday? Anyways, I did leave you a voicemail.
Yeah, I got your voicemail. Don't know if I got any text messages or anything.
Now you sound far away.
Yeah, I'm. Hold on a minute. Let me adjust my microphone again.
Okie dokie. It's good to hear your voice.
Any better?
Okay, now it is. Yes.
Yeah, it took unplugged everything from my studio. So a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to hop in the show, and then it's like I went to log into StreamYard, and it's like, wait a minute, my microphone's not plugged in, my camera's not on, and I was just like, oh well.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. So it's like, I got the mic plugged in, still don't have the camera on.
No worries. So have you met Esty or have you met Dallas?
I've met Dallas. SD is not Esther, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, so I have not met SD.
Esty, this is Pete, and Pete, this is Esty.
Hello.
How
Hello.
you doing, SD?
I'm doing good.
Mhm.
That's good.
That's great, Ashley. And are you the Pete that used to be on here regularly as a host as well?
Oh yeah.
Welcome back, my friend.
I got to visit my apostle wife every now and then.
Absolutely. And I just told him, for a few months that you were just at this point where you were like, you just didn't have much more to say. You just were
That's
kind
it.
of out of words.
I've kind of gotten that way with just about everything in my life.
Isn't that weird? I hear you.
Yeah, it is. But I think it's actually because, like mentally, I'm in best place I've been in a very, very long time.
Really?
And so if you're in a good place, there's really nothing to complain about.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know?
You know what I wanted to mention now that I'm thinking of it? If you try to get on StreamYard, try to use Chrome rather than different. I don't even know what you call it. But Chrome is
Browser.
thank you, browser.
Yeah.
Chrome browser is supposed to be the one that works very well with getting on StreamYard. And then Keith earlier said that StreamYard has an app, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
So nothing to complain about, huh?
Yeah, not really,
You usually
I
have
mean,
things to talk
one
about.
of the reasons I stopped, doing videos is because I kind of felt like I was just repeating the same stuff over and over. And I really do hate being repetitious,
Yeah.
and like I used to jump at the chance to do a new video on like the new Shepherd the Flock book.
Right?
But now it's like I'll go through it, and unless I see something really, like a slap in the face, I probably won't be doing a video on it.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out and see.
Yeah, let's see what's there. I mean that the organization has been changing so much, so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to keep up with all the changes, and there are a lot of XJW channels that are able to keep up with the changes a lot faster than I am.
And the latest is we can go to university.
Right? Yeah.
You
So
know,
when
now-
when I expose myself to the XJW, to the Watchtower material, it does take a toll, and I end up burning out pretty quick.
Okay.
So I just, I find, I finally get to the point where it's like, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah, and when you're at that point, there's nothing wrong with stepping back or stepping away, and I hope you keep your content up. Some people choose to take it down, but all the work and everything you've done, you did your research very well.
Every now and then, like my content isn't really getting a lot of views anymore. But every now and then I will get a comment from somebody that say they found something useful. So if people are still getting, something useful out of what's up there, then, there's no reason for me to take it down. It doesn't cost me anything to put it there.
Or to keep it there? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And then you also have your channel for Curious Atheist?
Yeah, I haven't. I totally got off YouTube altogether.
Okay.
I mean, at one point I was running 3 different channels.
Oh wow!
And I've just abandoned all of them.
Okay.
You know, I mean, and all my stuff is still up on YouTube, but yeah, I'm not making more, new stuff. I was joking around with a friend of mine just yesterday. Said, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting a new YouTube channel." And she's like, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah. I think I want to do a movie and like TV show reaction channel." I said, "But it's not going to be just me." I said, "I want to have a partner." And she's like, "Who?" And I said, "I think you would be a great partner because you would get me being like an old boomer and then working with a millennial lesbian. You'd have two like totally different perspectives on everything. And we
Previous
could
roommate,
argue
huh?
back and forth. And, I think that would really be a good chemistry mix.
And you and her have been like friends forever, and she's always been
yeah.
really
Christ,
good for
and-
you and to you, and you've been the same way
Yep.
with her.
Yeah,
You know, she
her
was a
and I have
previous
been
roommate, right?
such good friends for the last 15 years.
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
good
it's
people.
uh,
That
yeah.
sounds like a good time, actually.
yeah.
Does she like doing stuff like that, or do you know?
I mean, she's been experimenting with the idea of doing like a podcast for a couple of years, but she's a busy girl, so she can never really find the time to sit down and do it. And she keeps telling me, "Oh, you should get back into YouTube. You should get back into YouTube." And I'm like, I just don't have, YouTube requires passion.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching YouTube videos, you can tell if the person, that you're looking at is passionate about what they're talking about.
Right.
And nobody wants to watch a video from somebody who doesn't have that passion. So, I lost my passion for the YouTube stuff. And the last couple of videos that I did make, you could start to see that. You could see that I was just pretty much going through the motions.
Yeah.
And I don't like watching those type of videos, so I sure as hell don't want to make those type of videos.
Yep.
So now I'm just kind of like sitting back and, John Lennon wrote a song once where he says, "I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round." And that's pretty much where I am. And it's someplace I like to be in.
Okay.
Reaction
videos on music videos or
Yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Watch like, TV show, series or movies or whatever. It's a lot of fun.
John
When I
just
first
said, "I miss
started
Pete."
YouTube, when I first started YouTube 6 years ago, my first channel was a music video reaction channel.
Yes.
Because, music is what I know,
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing it as speech therapy, because of my stroke. I had, took me like almost 8.5, 9 months to learn how to talk again. So I did YouTube as a way to practice my speech therapy.
So amazing. And so resourceful.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. Life is about being able to adapt and overcome. Life is, life is like you're running a race, but there's always hurdles. You just got to overcome the hurdles and move on to the next one as quick as possible. And once you've cleared that last hurdle, now the race is over. So, until you die, there's always going to be another hurdle in front of you.
You're right. They do seem to keep showing up.
Yeah.
But I don't I don't trip on them as much as I used to. Like,
Right.
oh, I recognize one of these. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this and this, and oh shoot, that's not working. Huh? I need to try another alternative way, and maybe even talk to a friend or something.
That's it. I mean, I had a friend of mine, a girl that I went to high school with.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, she lives out in California now. And I was talking to her on the phone, and she was like telling me how frustrated she is and like a lot of the problems she's been having lately, and how frustrated she is with all these problems that life has given her. And I'm like, she's like, I don't know if I can handle this. I said, for Christ's sake, you're 62 years old. Is like any of this stuff the first time you've ever dealt with a problem? No. So when you were a child, you had problems and you overcame them. You got to be a teenager, you had problems, you overcame them. You became an adult, and you went in the service, there was problems, but you overcame them. You get married, there's problems, that's what your whole life is. You encounter a problem, you overcome it. If you want to just sit there and whine and cry and suck your thumb and, oh, woe is me, you're not ever going to move forward. You're going to retard your emotional, progression. So just keep putting one foot in front of the other and move forward.
You're right. I haven't really stopped to think that that's part of life. It's just to be expected. We're going to have a hurdle here and a hurdle there. But we also, the more we have, the older we get, we also have some more wisdom.
Yeah.
Even though our body's kind of breaking down.
Well, it's the old cliche, if I knew then what I know now.
My God, I've been thinking about that lately.
Yep.
I knew then what I know now. That's right.
Hey, when we were all 17, we all thought we were the smartest people on the face of the earth. We knew everything there was about life.
Absolutely.
And our parents were idiots. It wasn't until we had children that we realized how smart our parents really were.
Right?
And as you learn, and it's not that you get smarter, it's just that as you get older, you observe more things, you absorb more information, and so you've experienced more things.
Absolutely.
And the things that, we take as wisdom now is nothing more than just experiences we've acquired over the course of our lives. And that's why when we're 17 and all the 40-year-olds were saying, oh, you shouldn't do that, that's a mistake. And we were all like, ha, 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 you don't know nothing. And then when we're 40, we're telling the 17-year-olds, you shouldn't do that, that's a mistake. And they're laughing at us. That's just the circle of life.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
But what's good about after we leave the org and we deal with these hurdles, the choices that we make, whether we end up with good consequences or negative consequences, it's either one is okay because we're going to gain wisdom. Not necessarily that it's okay, but it's very different than when we were in the org, because when we were in the org, it amounted to, if we made the wrong choices, we would not make it through Armageddon. And what I'm saying is, after you leave the org, you can actually have the mindset of, okay, what can I learn from this? And if you have to pay a parking ticket, or you get pulled over for speeding, or you get a negative consequence for something you did that you didn't do, didn't make a wise decision about, that's just part of gaining the wisdom that you'll have.
Right. I mean, when we were in the org, of course, we were indoctrinated, especially if we were in there as children. If you're a child in the org, you're indoctrinated to avoid this and avoid that. And don't do that. Don't do that. A lot of don't do's.
Right.
You know? And
Right on.
you're taught that if you do them, you know, you're evil, you're wicked, and you're going to die at Armageddon and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, but as a child, that stays with you even into your adult life.
Yes, it does.
It's like after I left the org, you know, the first few relationships I had after that, you know, I was doing stuff and there's that indoctrinated guilt. You know, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. But then you got the guy on the other shoulder going, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
You know? And I found that he won out a lot more than the other guy. You know, that guilt guy disappeared after a while.
Yeah.
You know?
Elaine Brain Drain says that XJW John Analyzer did a good review on Block Manual. So John Analyzer, he's his wife is the one that stopped with shunning. That blonde gal, she has a channel too. So, and he's very thorough.
I think I know who you're talking about, Beth.
Yes.
That's who that is. She even had Barbara Anderson meet with her.
Yes, I haven't heard that interview yet. But
I ain't watched it yet. I'd love to watch that. I've met Barbara Anderson even on StreamYard and over a line. I've met her husband when he was still living.
Is that right? Okay. I loved the fact that he was he had a very his personality was more, she's an extrovert and he's an introvert, and it worked. You know what I mean? If they were together and they were going to be interviewed or whatever, he'd just relax back and she would be leaning forward and doing, you know, most of the talking, and he had no problem with that. And
she's the more assertive one. That's what she is, and one who takes no nonsense more than he did.
Mm-hmm. Purple says, I usually had a guy on one shoulder saying, go for it, and a guy on the other shoulder saying, he has a point. Elaine Brain Drain said, I tried to find Chrome. Okay.
With Clooney, I ain't seen him on here for a long time, but we did meet with each other on Rick's show tonight.
Oh, right on. I probably got too woke for him, but
I don't think he did. I think he'll be back, and he can be part of our family anytime. I know of this family. It's the Apostate family. I am one the more conservative members of this family, but I still go here because it's a family as well.
I appreciate that. And I respect your more conservative viewpoint too. It's all good.
And also it's moderate as well.
Okay.
Not me. I'm a hardcore. I'm just a contrarian.
You're what?
I'm a contrarian.
Oh, okay.
I don't care what point of view you have. I'm taking the opposite side.
we all entitled to our opinion.
Yeah. I've done that more than once where I take both sides of an argument.
And
And I
when
can
we
read the side successfully.
when we find our own common ground, and we do.
Yep.
John just said, "A pasta babe welcomes all." You know what? That's, I think, one of the best compliments I've ever heard. That is so beautiful. Thank you, John. I appreciate that a lot. I usually, and that's exactly what I'm like, until somebody gets like in my face, assertive, or being a bully. I take it for a while, and then it's like, look the fuck out, because I'm taking you down, and I'm taking you down now.
Bullying, now that's unacceptable. All shows here or Rick's show, we need to be civil and respectful as part of just common and human decency.
I agree.
I'm not sure, but I think there may have been one or two times where I may have gotten a little short with somebody in the chat.
And
once or twice.
Right? but I noticed when you would do that, it would also be with this accompaniment of you're standing up for me as well,
Right.
as whatever you had to say about it. Because it would usually be accompanied with something to the effect of, I forget how you'd say it, but it would have to do with basically, how dare you show up on a Pasta Babes channel doing this crap.
Right.
That's what it amounted to. You know?
Like there's a time and a place for everything. You know, if you want to come on the channel and disagree, that's fine, but there's a way to do it. And
that's civil and decent.
You don't come on here, just spouting a bunch of, like you're doing a monologue. Like we're just going to sit here and listen to it. No, it goes two ways. Yeah, and sometimes I'm not in the best mood to deal with people like that. So, yeah. Oh well, what are you gonna do? That's my one of my flaws as a imperfect human being. Is my lack of tolerance for stupid people.
Here we go. Diana Lost just said, "Did you know there are just over 144,000 cemeteries in America?" I don't know why, but that weirded me out. No kidding.
So
That's
that
weirding
means
me
that
out
only
too.
one person from each of those cemeteries gets to go to heaven.
Yeah, that's a trip. It's weird how it's just over, See, they're adding numbers with the cemeteries and Jehovah's Witnesses. The number will go up somehow. The story is like some fell away. Some of the 144,000, these anointed ones, fell away, got worldly or something, or became apostate. So up and coming Jehovah's Witnesses can have a calling to be one of the anointed, and they fill the spot that was taken by somebody else. Purple says, "Some people you have to ask, excuse me, is there an adult I can speak to?"
The number of cemeteries has decreased. So what happened to the rest of them? They got full. The cemeteries only can fit only so many people.
That's true.
Once they get full, that's it. They go into, perpetual care mode.
I say it's because of the decline of these fancy burials, which take up space and
Yeah.
is expensive. It's cheaper to just burn them, and it takes less space.
Yep. Well, the two biggest waste of land in the United States is cemeteries and golf courses.
Absolutely. My grandparents, they're in a cemetery, but they were burned, so it takes less space.
You can have as much fun on a pitch and putt course as you can on an 18-hole golf course.
Right on.
And it's a lot less walking.
Wow. Wow. Now we're on the cemeteries things. I remember I took a test when I was going to a community college, like Myers-Briggs, and so a Myers-Briggs test is they want to. It's not like it's not an IQ test. It's more about your personality.
Right.
So it would help you decide what your kind of a career you'd like to have. And after I'm done with these tests, including the Myers-Briggs, just asking me questions about myself, I got a big old long list of occupations or careers that I would be good at. And I'll never forget, one of them was being a pet cemetery owner. And I still, at first I looked at that and thought to myself, because there is a pet cemetery here in town. And they always have flowers. Every single little, space had flowers. And I thought to myself, could I do a eulogy for a doggy? Absolutely. I mean, yeah. So
I actually worked at a pet cemetery for about a month.
did you really?
Yeah.
Did you really? Wow.
And let me tell you, that was not a good fit for me.
Elaine just showed up. Woohoo! It wasn't a good fit.
Yeah, I went and updated my browser. It worked.
There you
Yay,
go.
okay.
Well,
Hi,
hi,
everybody. Hi,
hi, Elaine. Hi, Elaine,
Hi.
and welcome. Is this your first time?
Well, I haven't been able to get on because I'm not very bright on technology. But somebody told me to figure out Chrome, so I've been doing that. So nice. But I had something to add, but I didn't mean to interrupt because now I didn't hear what was being talked about while I was.
No,
trying
I'd love
get
to hear
on.
what you have to say, but Pete was saying he
Yeah.
worked at a pet cemetery for a month. And I was
Yeah.
saying that one of the things that I would be good at is owning a pet cemetery. So then he just said it didn't work well with him. So I kind of was going to be like, do explain, and then I want to hear what you have to say, Elaine. So go
Aw.
ahead, Pete.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you wanted to do a review on the Shepherd the Flock manual, but do you know who XJW Analyzer is? John? His
Yes.
name's John. He did a
Somebody
great review.
mentioned him in the chat earlier.
That was me. I mentioned him.
Yep.
He did a great, very, very good review. So that means we don't have to. We don't have to look in there. So just check his video out. Nothing much important has changed. I guess the paragraph about higher education was taken out completely. So that was interesting from last year. But the point that I wanted to make, and I had an experience to express about something. Okay, so think about being in the org right now, if we were in there, and think about all the changes that have happened in such a short period of time. The beards and the pants and the ties and the ministry and the and now the greeting at the hall, and then the the college issue. Think about being in the Borg right now. Think about it and think about what you would be thinking. And here's what I would be thinking. I would be so flustered about all the rules changing that it would wake me up. I think it would just wake me up and I'd be going, well, you know what? I'll just make my own rules from here on out. It would be this feeling of you guys you can't even stick to one rule. And I have to change my whole life and change my brain, my indoctrination. I can't be changing it every 5 minutes. So here's
I'll
what
Good
tell
I
you
night,
what.
Diana Lost. Good night.
If I could,
oh
I would go back to the org in a heartbeat if they told me I could wear my leisure suit.
well they did. I think you can wear no tie and no coat unless you're given a talk. I don't know what the rule exactly is right now, but
Yeah. No,
um,
back in the 70s, I got counseled on wearing a leisure suit to a meeting.
what's the difference between a leisure suit and a regular suit? What
Well,
is
because
that?
leisure suits were designed by homosexuals.
They were?
Yeah, they
That's
were
what the
designed
elder
by
from his
homosexuals.
congregation told him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was the tight pants. I didn't know that was the leisure
Well,
suit.
leisure suits were,
Okay. Okay. Now I want to tell you guys about an experience, and I feel that this experience will help us to be viewing what all these changes have done to people. So my sons, well, I have 3 sons, but the older 2 in their mid 40s, when they left the organization, a lot of their friends, their peers in their uh, age group in the 20s, when they were in their 20s, they left. They all left together. There's a whole bunch of them. They all get together. They do dinners together. They have fun together. They're all really good friends. Well, this one one of them, her name is Jessica, and now she's in her 40s, but she calls my son up, who I live with now, and she said, guess what? And my son said, what? And she said, my parents came over to my apartment to see me. Now, here's the backstory. She left in her 20s, and her parents have been shunning her for 20 years. So my son said, well, what were they doing? Trying to get you to go back to meetings? Like, why did they come over? And she said, no. They said to her, we want to have a relationship with you. And so his friend, Jessica, she was troubled because she told my son, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with them because she doesn't really, she's not jumping for joy.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if your
It almost
parents,
sounds like there's a dread happening there.
well, what I'm thinking is that here's what I'm thinking. People are branching out on their own and they're starting to think for themselves. They're
Yes.
thinking, well, damn it, they're changing every rule is getting thrown out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And what a slap in the face. 2 parents have been forced to shun their own children, which was very painful for people. I didn't do it, but a lot of witnesses did shun their kids. And I'm thinking there's going to be an even greater exodus with all this loosening up. Is that, hey, you know what? We've been following their rules for 30 years, and we're sick of all these rules. And anytime they feel like it, they can change a rule, and that means we've wasted 10, 20, 30 years trying to follow the rules that don't even matter anymore. They don't even matter. And so I think people are going to break out. I think they're just going to say, screw all this stuff and screw the shunning, because that was very powerful when they came over to see her physically and tell her they want to have a relationship with her. And as far as I can tell, I'll keep you guys up on the story, but as far as I can tell, there were no strings attached. But the
Wow.
problem is,
We're just not welcome Mermaid in. But go
she's
ahead.
been out of her parents' life for, eons. She's in her mid 40s now. And what do you do with that? Because if they don't apologize for the shunning, and they don't have any self-awareness as to what damage they've done, how do you build a relationship?
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't know
tough
how
one.
you. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys, and it might be going on for many people. In fact, maybe Fran and Joe could have a show where they talk about that. How many people out there are starting to have family members try to contact them,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, Elaine,
Because,
like I left the org, Christ, 45 years ago.
yeah.
But I got a email from one of my buddies back in my Kingdom Hall days last year, who told me that after 45 years, he finally left the org. And I asked him why, and he told me it was because of all the changes they're making.
Well, there
He's
we go. Yeah.
like with him, it started, with the overlapping generation.
Right.
He's like, that was kind of the thing that opened my eyes to the fact that, wait a minute, maybe they don't have it right. And he's like, as he started to pay attention to what was going on, he's like, no, these guys don't have a clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like
I think
after
somebody
all
fell
is said and
asleep.
done, human beings, we don't like to be told what to do.
Right.
And we're told what to do by a bunch of fanatics. Once you start realizing that they're a bunch of fanatics, you don't want any part of it. And the people who do stick around are just people that, emotionally are so vulnerable that they need to have somebody basically telling them what to do.
Yeah.
But once you've developed any level of critical thinking or any level of self-esteem, you realize that no, this is not, this is not conducive to a good life.
Yeah, think about a child when a child is growing up with their parents and the parents keep changing the rules, or one parent says one thing and the other parent says another thing. The scripture that we can go to is, parents were commanded, don't irritate your children.
Right.
And that part of the irritation was not being consistent with the rules. And that was really, imprinted on me raising my children. And I agreed with that. I agree that it's an irritation. And I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but I almost wonder if they're just trying to irritate the flock so much. And, they are waking up. People are just saying, screw all these rules. I haven't seen my daughter in 20 years. I'm going to go see her, I mean, I don't know. I think I just have this feeling that, they're just messing up so bad.
It would be a good thing for her to set some boundaries.
They've been threatening witnesses for over 140 years.
Yes.
That you're living in the last days.
Mm-hmm.
And Armageddon any day now, for 140 years.
Did you see the sentence that Rick read out of the Watchtower tonight?
No.
By chance, Pete? There's a sentence in the November Watchtower. He said, I think it was paragraph 7, It actually said we have reason to believe Armageddon is not going to come in your lifetime. No, I'm not kidding you. Talk about irritating.
That's
He read
no
it.
different than the Awake magazine I got when I was 8 years old that told me I wouldn't even get to graduate high school because Armageddon was that
I'm with
close.
you. I'm with you on that. I'm the same age group as you guys. Yeah.
Yep, May 15, no, I mean May 22, 1968, Awake magazine.
Yeah.
69, I'm sorry.
Well, check out the November Watchtower. It actually has that sentence. We have reason to believe Armageddon is not going to come in our lifetime.
All right.
Wow.
So they're backing out. They're backing out.
So they're moving the goalpost even further.
Well, I think they're going to have to revamp their whole religion and make it a whole different religion. They're not going to be able to use all the old stuff. They're just not.
A
None
cult
of it.
usually goes to a certain point and it'll end. But what the organization has always done is rebrand itself so it goes further. It gives it
Yeah,
more
they're going to
time.
remarket. They're going to remarket themselves. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's their history.
Yes.
C.T. Russell, studied with the Millerites. He took their beliefs, altered it a little bit, and formed the International Bible Students.
Yeah.
Then when he passed away, Rutherford took the International Bible Students, or some of them, changed the rules a little bit and called them Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
So that's the history of the organization, is to change with each person that's sitting at the top.
Right.
When Nathan Knorr came along in the 60s, he made a lot more changes.
Mm-hmm.
And it just continues. Right now we have a body of the governing body is a bunch of
rulemakers,
uneducated business people who are making all these business decisions.
Well, I don't know how much of their dogma they believe themselves, but it could be that they really do believe that they're going to have all this authority and rule with Christ. I mean, I'd love to find out if they really believe that. And so with that authority, they are very egotistical. Well, I'm going to be king of all. I'm going to be managing the whole earth. So I'm the boss. I'm the boss. So they have the ego for, the authority. But I'd love to know if they really believe that they're going to go to heaven and rule with Christ.
I can think of 2 governing body members in my lifetime that I was convinced actually believed what they were teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Franz and Anthony Morris.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Anthony with blowing out the matchstick, that guy?
Yep. I think Anthony Morris actually believed what he was saying because he was passionate about it.
You mean that Ray Franz is the one that came out of the organization? You mean Freddie Franz?
The reason he came out is because when he was on the governing body, he recognized that they were heading and doing things like a business.
Right.
His big complaint was they were making spiritual decisions without consulting the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Right? They were doing things like a corporation and not as a theocratic organization.
Okay.
And that's what got him booted out.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's a big mess, and all I can say is that I think people are sick, literally sick about following this organization. And when they use a little tiny bit of critical thinking, just a little tiny bit of critical thinking, they're going to say, if Armageddon's not coming, and I've been shunning my kids for 20 years, I miss my kids. I'm going to go see them.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You know, I mean, I got baptized in 1970. All right,
Okay.
so if I had a question about something, you know, I could go into the Kingdom Hall and go into the library there and research it,
Mhm.
right? With the publications they had available at the Kingdom Hall Library. But we
Right.
didn't have internet back then or anything like that.
Right.
And so the amount of research we could actually do was very, very limited.
Right.
But
Right.
with the advent of the internet, we now have access to so much information.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like now it used to be a lot easier for people to hide secrets.
Hmm.
But those secrets can't be hidden anymore. Everything is exposed.
Yeah. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And you know, when you put transparency up against a scam,
Hmm.
it exposes it very quickly,
Right.
very
Right.
easily.
But the people, like I said, that have been out and shunned for many, many, many years are not necessarily going to be welcoming with open arms,
Right.
because the parent-child relationship, uh, you know, was never supposed to be broken.
No.
So the fact that they got away with that practice, which I feel is a satanic practice, I feel that they have been able to bring satanic practices into the cult, calling them love, and people have been just so disillusioned. And then, I know for me, I mean, I don't know how many mothers did not shun their kids. I didn't care what the organization said. There was something in me that said, no, I can't do that. It was like that was my limit. I couldn't shun my own kids.
No.
So I didn't. But
When I
how
was
many?
disfellowship, my mother never shunned me
Well, there you go.
unless
There
it
you go.
was in public.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
and I've
see.
told this story to Linda before. Like,
Okay.
my mom and I would go grocery shopping,
Mm-hmm.
and if she saw another witness in the store, she would like
Mm-hmm.
point to her shopping list, and then like give
Mm-hmm.
me this hand signal to go get this.
Yeah.
Right? She wouldn't talk to me. She would just point to the list and then
Yeah, well,
signal
she
me to
was
go.
smart. That was smart.
Right?
Really, you have to play the game,
Yeah,
She had to
but
play the
at
game.
home it was, all bets
Mm-hmm.
are off.
Right.
You know.
Right. No, but
So
this was just an experience that just happened this week. I wanted to share it, and I wanted to express my thoughts on it. And I really think something is really behind all of this irritation of the flock, and they're gonna come out. They're coming out. If we think they've come out already, I think it's gonna expand. I think it's just gonna be, get ready. Everybody
Yeah.
that's helping people like you, Linda, and Rick, and Fran and Joe, and all those people that are willing to, put a platform out there. I think it's going to just, be growing and growing for people leaving.
I
So,
did not
yeah,
think about how you just put all this, that all of these changes would be irritating, that it would
yes.
frustrate people. I hadn't thought about it that way. And when you said it, it's like, okay, that does make
Hmm.
sense. I'm thinking like, oh, a little bit of freedom. I'm sure they're loving that. Oh, a little bit more freedom. I'm sure they're loving that.
Hmm.
I didn't
Hmm.
think about what you're saying. And it does make sense. And the person that called your son, I don't
Hmm.
blame her for not knowing what to think or do.
Yeah.
But it
Well,
would be this would be a good time to set some boundaries if she is considering,
right.
going further in the relationship.
Right. And if I get a chance to talk to her, which my kids get together once in a while, and I run into her, so I'll be able to share that with her, that she needs to take her time and make sure that they're aware of what they did, because I don't even think witnesses, when they're in the indoctrination, recognize how painful the shunning practice is while they're in. They don't realize how it affects those that are out. They just don't. I really don't. I think they're in a bubble,
Yeah.
and they don't have any uh, forethought as to, really think about what does that mean for those that have left.
I just thought of this one.
Okay.
So, Elaine, you talked about that quote in the Watchtower where they said
Mhm.
it's, quite possible that Armageddon is not going to happen in our lifetime.
Right. Right.
Well, I
It
know
would be like, I want to
if-
finish
if-
that off with, said the Watchtower never. But it
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
happened.
No, that was big. No, that was
Yeah,
big.
right.
And Rick
Yeah.
brought it out in his show.
If
I mean,
they had ever said that when I was in, my first remark would have been, well, then there's no need for me to stay in
exactly.
because I'm going to die and I'll be resurrected. If they're right, I'll be resurrected, and then I can just go along with it for the 1,000 years and get in.
Well, let's go along with the last thing they did with the last minute repentance.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a new one. Last
Yeah.
minute repentance, and now maybe it won't come at all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys. Now, here's my thought. I mean, I know I don't really understand fully how cults work, but I've learned a lot. But could it be that they are trying to push out the people that know what they used to teach, and the ones that are going to cause trouble because they're claiming to be the truth, and they're making all these changes? Because if they get a fresh start with a new group of people, then they don't have to answer for the past. So I'm wondering if they're doing this on. It just seems
I
like
would
they're
not
doing
be
it
surprised. It does seem like
purpose.
that.
Yeah.
Almost like a passive aggressive purge. Like
Very good. Purge. Yeah, purge.
that had all the belief systems of 75 and all that.
Well,
Yeah,
you kind of have to look at it this way. Like, they kind of realize that they're losing control over a large segment of, the organization, of their followers.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they just want to put up a set of rules where, all right, if people stick around for this set of rules, those
Mm-hmm.
are the kind of people we want, because they'll
Exactly.
be loyal.
Precisely.
Yeah, we don't want the disgruntled old witnesses. We don't want the
Right.
disgruntled ones who lived in 1975.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
get rid of those guys.
We
Yeah,
don't want the ones that
I-
we promised would never grow old in the system.
yeah.
Some people thought,
Yeah.
and you know what? they say the same thing in a video when they were talking about like 1914. Some people
Right.
thought they did the same mindset, that same teaching.
Yeah.
Well, I still got like 40 years worth of Watchtowers and Awakes, hard copies.
Wow.
So that when they change the digital,
Mhm.
when they change the online versions, I still have the originals.
Yeah, Rick played the convention talk with Freddie Franz, saying that the exact date of Armageddon was going to be September 5th,
Yeah.
1975, and sundown. He even pinpointed sundown. And I'm like, what? I don't even remember that prediction. I do not remember that exact date and
I
at
remember being
sundown.
excited because that would have been like coincided with the first day of school.
Oh, that no, I could get that. I get
That's
that.
cool. Yep.
That'd be cool. Well, I was
So I
busy.
told my mom, you don't have to spend any money on back to school clothes because it's only going to be for one day this year.
Yeah.
Purple says that even before JWs, every generation for the last 2,000 years has been told that the world, is going to end in their lifetime. So this has been a very common thing
That religion too, yeah.
that
Yeah.
religion does. Yes.
When I was busy, I was I got married in 75 and then I had a baby in 76. And I try to think about, I was so distracted with my life, busy being a mom and new mom. And, I really kind of went along with the idea that, well, yeah, we didn't get the date right, but they would say, it doesn't mean this isn't the truth. They would actually say that, well, it doesn't mean that it's not the truth. You're going to leave the truth because we made a mistake on the date. It's like, yeah, I kind of let it go like that. I was young,
Oh, we
I was in
all
my,
did.
I was like, yeah, give them a break. I didn't really look at it like a betrayal, until I left the religion and I really looked back on things with critical thinking, because sometimes now that I'm older and I have critical thinking, I'm like, what were you doing? Why didn't you leave when it didn't come? I tell myself, well, what was wrong with your brain? And the thing you just want it to be true. And if they made a mistake, well, we'll give them a break. And that, but then there were people that, their whole lives were destroyed. They sold their houses. They didn't have any more money. They used up their money, went where the need was great. Those are the ones that really, really, some of them bolted out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
500,000, I guess, left, about 500,000 left after
Wow.
1975. But anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts and my experiences. And, my premonitions, I have premonitions. I'm not saying I'm psychic or anything, but I just have a kind of a sense of what they're doing is
Right.
really
This is
affecting the
different from
sheep.
like prophesying or anything. It's like you're taking a look at it thinking, oh, it could easily
Yeah.
go this way. Because I can remember my grandfather in my kitchen, in my mother's kitchen, leaning
Mhm.
back and going, yep, I picture coffee being over $1.
Right, right.
I
Well, with
mean,
everything else going on in the world today, all of the
I
stress
don't
people
know.
are under, and the witnesses struggling financially, being because they didn't get their education, and on top, it's one thing on top of another, and it's like how much can the brain and the emotional state handle? And I just think that I feel for them. There, I mean, I think about if I was in there now. I mean, I really don't know how I would function. I would be a mess. I would be really struggling to, with the
Wow.
cognizant. I don't know. I'm glad it was hard getting out, I was, severely damaged, but, now I just feel for them. I feel for those that are, just waking up and not, trusting the organization anymore. And they
And
need our support.
I remember part of your story is that there was things set up for you to go to college, and
Yeah, my grandparents had a fund, a trust fund for all the grandchildren, which I was the grandchild. I was the first grandchild in the family, and they had a trust fund set up for all of us to go to college. Yep. And I was an AB student. I was good. I could have got a good, maybe a scholarship, but I didn't even try because I got trapped in that religion when I was 15.
I think
So,
that should be illegal
no.
to study with children underage unless they get a signature from the parent.
Oh,
And
well, well, that's just it. My stepmother and I studied when the
set
witnesses,
it up almost, yeah.
they came to the door and they convinced her that they could give us a free home Bible study. And it was so innocent. Oh
Mhm.
my God, it was so innocent.
Why wouldn't she think it's innocent, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
they're willing to come to the house and buy Bible studies? It's considered,
Oh, it was
what a good
yeah,
idea. I think the kids would benefit from knowing the Bible,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And we were looking for a church, so that was kind of
Mhm.
right up our alley. And oh, I mean, it's just, I just wish we even learned in school if they would have classes that talk about how to analyze something like a religion or a cult. I wish we had some basic education when we go to school, but I didn't. So I had no clue. But my parents fought me. My dad and my grandparents fought me because my grandfather was he was a government servant in Greece, and so I told my story on Six Streams. I think I told my story, yeah. So when my grandparents were going through World War II, they had to get out of the country because Greece was occupied by some aggressive armies. And my grandfather might have been killed, so he had to get out. They had to get out of Greece. And my dad was the youngest of the three children, but they eventually all got out of Greece. And then, they brought their kids here, and their kids went to school here. And then they went back to Greece after their kids were grown. And the thing is when my grandfather found out that his granddaughter, me, was studying with the Jehovah's Witnesses and I was refusing to go to college, he wrote me a letter. And, he was viewing the Jehovah's Witnesses as they did in that country. They were banned in Greece. And being that he's a government official, he knew who they were. So in the letter, he said to me that the Jehovah's are criminals and you do not want to be a part of their life. They're criminals. And in Greece, they were. They were criminals because they wouldn't go to the draft.
Mhm.
And he even mentioned in the letter they have to sneak around, blah blah blah. And I was like thinking, oh, that proves that they're God's people. I was like looking at the
Yes.
letter from a whole different viewpoint. And so he told my father, get her away from those Jehovah's Witnesses. And that's where my dad sent me back to college. I mean, a prep college. I went to a prep college in Illinois. So I was in California, but my dad flew me back to live with my uncle because the whole family was in uproars that I was becoming a Jehovah's Witness.
That
And
must have
it
felt
didn't
like such persecution too.
it didn't wake me up. It made me even hang on tighter. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, they don't understand. They don't understand. And I just hung on for life. And I had so many experiences that I thought, well, God is taking care of me because the maids were Jehovah's Witnesses when I went to live with my uncle. And I'm like, oh, see, Jehovah's not going to let me go. He's helping me, he's helping me. So that was just, for me, I just kept getting one thing after another showing me, well, this has to be the truth because God's Holy Spirit is holding on to me and the people are helping me to stay faithful, even though I'm being pressured to leave. So, those things uh, really give me a whole picture of how powerful the indoctrination was and the love
Yes.
bombing. And I just, felt good. I was really given a lot of attention by the witnesses.
Mhm.
I was love bombed. When I mean love bombed. And it was so powerful, I couldn't say no. I mean, I was
Yeah.
taken care of in every way. I married in the organization. All the friends were so supportive of us and helped us financially. And I don't know how to explain it, but people that are told to love one another and do practice loving one another, it really does work. You take
Mhm.
any group and you tell them God is love and you have to love your brother and your sister. And they really did practice a form of love, of
Mhm.
course, a conditional love. But it's powerful the way that they can do that, the way a cult can manage and take over control of people's minds. You know, um, I, I attest to it. But anyway, we have to just be aware that many more people are being mistreated, and they're going to need some support. Um,
Yes.
but, you know,
And Mermaid's on here, and her parents like sold their home
oh,
at
okay,
65.
okay.
Yeah, sold their home. Like they were
Mm.
true believers, true believers.
Yeah, we were. We all were. Yeah, we really
Absolutely.
were. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then I was going to say to, I don't know if she's still here on the platform. Grow, it's her name, Grow. That
She's in.
she's dealing with working a way to get out without too much damage. You think that way when you're going to leave, and you really want to hang on to your friends. And I just want to say, Grow, I had the same feelings you have um, when I was waking up and fading out. I had some friends that I had had for 30, 40 years. They were real friends, and they were people we raised our kids together. We had wonderful experiences together. We shared our lives together. I had very dear friends in the organization. And I thought, well, they're not all going to shun me. I thought in my mind, no way, we're such good friends. But what happened was you don't realize the power of the indoctrination. Uh, my one friend actually had enough respect to have a conversation with me. And, I tried to reason with her and I said, so, yeah, I didn't ever try to tell her anything about the cult. I never bashed the cult to her or anything. She just realized I had become inactive and it was hurting her. And I said, well, I'm okay, I'm okay, but we could still be friends. And she said, no, no, we can't be friends. She said, Jehovah's my friend, my best friend, and Jehovah wouldn't approve. And I said, I was trying to get her to reason on that, but she wouldn't reason on it. And I showed her a lot of respect. I didn't tell her anything dark about the organization. I did tell her that I learned enough that my conscience wouldn't let me stay in the organization. I said that's all I told her. My conscience wouldn't let me stay. And if you
Yeah.
ever have any questions about anything that I'm happy to share with you if there's anything you want to know that I found out. But otherwise, I told her I'm not gonna blast her with, you know, any kind of information. She was respectful and a good friend. And to this day, I wonder how she is, but she basically drew the line. And, we were in there, so we know what that means. They think they're being loyal to God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so we just have to say, we just have to let, we can think about them grow and still love them, but it's going to be a hard thing to retain any friendships with those that are fully indoctrinated. So sorry to tell you that, but yeah, it's but that's what you need to understand, Grow. There's a great crowd, and I like using that term. There's a great crowd of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses out. And so we're all scrambling to try to help one another and help each other network. Yeah, Fran and Joe are doing a great network job where they, Fran calls me about once a month and she says, hey, we got a new person in your area that needs some support. So can we give her your number? I say, yeah, sure. So I've had a few calls from different ones, and I think it's a wonderful way to contribute. I myself am disabled, so I can't do a lot, but I can be there for those that are waking up, and so I want to offer that to you, Grow, if you ever need somebody to just chat with, and you need support. I'm happy to be there too. So, like Linda is. Linda was a great support for me when I was waking up. It was fantastic.
The gal that was on last week, Denise Hedberg.
Yeah, Denise introduced you. Yeah.
Introduced me to Elaine, and it was when she was first like, she's like, I love the organization. I love being a Jehovah's Witness. And I was like, this is the first time I've ever heard this. And then she just went on and on with what, how it all fell into place and everything. And she and I have been friends ever since. And we're both developing our own unique identity along the way.
Right.
And we've watched each other develop, from one thing to another. And even if we disagree, we're still like stoked for each other. We're still happy for each other because we're developing into, ourselves. And that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Well, and there needs to be the variety of those that were born in and then the ones that came in later, like me. I'm a different animal because I was fully duped by the indoctrination. I was never raised around a cult or religious group. So I came in fresh. I was a fresh,
such an innocent and impressionable
target.
age.
And so I understand how the indoctrination works because I was 15 years old, and once they took over my mind, I could look back on that now, and I could see clearly how powerful it was. I was at the convention where Freddie Franz was giving talks, and that was back in the 70s when we had the 7-day conventions. And I was there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 7 days.
And I remember last a long day, like till 9 p.m.
Yep. And Freddie Franz was giving talks at my first convention, and I was shaking in my seat. I was literally shaking. That's how powerful the indoctrination was. I don't know what the shaking was all about. It was fear. It was brainwashing, taking over my mind. And I'm telling you, his voice over a PA system in a convention, and you're 15 years old and you've never been in a religious group before, was so powerful. I was completely taken over.
Yeah. Something about him. It's very tent revival.
Yes. Maybe that was it.
Very tent revival.
It was the not Holy Spirit. It was the not Holy Spirit that was taking a grab of me. But when I woke up, I went through the same shaking. When I
Okay.
woke up at age 63, I was mentally and emotionally broken down so badly that I was in a chair for 7 months, sitting in a recliner in my son's house. And I was literally shaking when I would watch the XGW videos. And I
Okay.
didn't know what that was. It's taken me a long time to figure out what was going on. But one thing I do know, there is a very powerful ability for indoctrination. It is, at least back then it was. Now I try to listen to the meetings and the different things, and that the stuff that's coming out now, I'd be gagging. But back
I know,
then,
right?
it was
It's very
powerful
different.
back then.
Yes, it
You
was.
remember, Linda, don't you? How
I did.
powerful it was.
We used to, yes, I do. I grew up in the 70s, so my childhood,
Yeah.
talking about my childhood. And it was Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles County. And
Well, you and
like I
I were
said,
both there then.
hmm
We were there together. I was there several years up in LA, Dodger Stadium.
I'm going to move on
Powerful
to
stuff.
Allura Mermaid because you've been patiently waiting.
Okay, I'll be
Welcome.
quiet.
Sure. Welcome, Mermaid. How are you doing tonight? Okay. I think she's gone, unless I have her somewhere else. No, you're right there. Hi, Laura. Can you hear me? She has her mute button on, and it's at a time of night where she might have fallen asleep or might not have. I'm not sure. So, hello, Mermaid. Are you awake? Did you want to add anything? I think she might have been just nice and relaxed. I'm getting ready to close things up so for the night. And is there anything you'd like to add before I say goodnight, Dallas?
Well, I've been hearing so much you have to say, and just think, just being, if you been enjoy learning everybody's side and how you can apply the best. I know that's one thing we can do.
Thank you.
And as I see you being your beautician,
Yes.
like my grandma was,
Okay.
which
The smell of perm solution is nice. And most people are like, ew, what's that smell? I'm like, oh, I'm home. I'm not working. I love the smell of perm solution. Yep.
and having Keith on, and how he, and hearing his story, and
Did I catch you at a
how,
time? Did I catch you at a time where you're kind of half asleep and I'm making you talk in your sleep?
you ain't doing that.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I was think that 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 new shepherding book and all that, and seeing other new things that's been, I feel that there's gonna, I feel that's gonna just, that they just shooting themselves right in their foot, as it they symbolically say.
Mm-hmm. I could see that happening too. I too can see that.
And I think that's why they have this no longer against going to university and also with certain things, a little change in certain, as Anne Marie said, she said at one time, you were required to look like lawyers, and I mean pretentious lawyers.
Yep. Yep. Thank you for that. I'm going to try again with Mermaid and see if she's still awake. Let's see if she's here. Pete, are you still here? Did you want to say something?
Yep, still here.
Uh,
Ran across you.
I'm here.
Is there something you wanted to add? Oh, the mermaid is awake. Okay. Let me have Pete say a few things, and then it'll be your turn next. Okay. Mermaid, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just glad to see you guys again. Yeah,
Thank you for
pop in
joining
every
us.
now and then and put in my 2 cents worth.
I appreciate that. And let me know if you and your previous roommate ends up starting a channel together. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I doubt we ever will because we don't get to see each other too often. But it's a fun thing to think about.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and I've seen other like reaction couples,
Mm-hmm.
you know, online that are like 2 totally different personalities. And I think it's a good, you know, chemistry. So, you know, it would be something cool if I ever regain my passion to do YouTube again.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm glad you're being true to yourself, you know, not just doing it for the sake of doing it. And
Oh, well,
you know,
that's
when
you
you
know,
had it in you, you did it. And I'm glad you're not taking your channels down.
yeah.
Thank you
No,
for that.
I mean, when I was doing the, you know, the videos, that's a lot of hours and a lot of work to put them together. So, and you know, there are still people that, you know, are able to glean a couple of good things from it. So keep them up there.
Yeah. I'm going to mute you, Dallas, and I'm going to go head to Mermaid, okay?
All right. I'll catch you later, wifey.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, my apostle hubby. I got this note saying I wasn't supposed to. Oh, well. Okay. Now to the Mermaid. How are you, love? Welcome.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you very well. Yes.
Oh.
What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to come on and say that I have your Barbie. Do you want to see
Really?
her?
Oh my God, I do. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She is so cool. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm so
You're
honored.
welcome. You want to see her whole outfit? She's got,
She's all
oops,
dressed
there
so
we go.
cool.
Yeah,
Oh, look
she's
at
got
that.
some really cool boots on. I
Boots
just
are made
wanted
for
to.
walking. And that's just what I'll do. Oh, how cool. Look at that person. Everything. Wow. I'm loving this. Thank you. That's really cool. The glasses and everything.
Uh-huh. I didn't have any the cat eye glasses that I have are too big for her, so So I just wanted to, yeah. So
Thank you.
anyway, so this
What an
is
honor.
a pasta babe Barbie.
Woohoo! That is so cool.
So yeah, I have a few episodes that I need to do first before I make the episode that has all of the Barbies in it. So
Okay. Check out
mhm,
Mermaid's channel. It's different and
mhm.
uniquely different, and you may be surprised. Go check out her channel. Check out a few of her videos and see what you think. She has a
I
very
have
unique perspective on things. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a playlist of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Barbies. I have a couple of videos on there. But lately I haven't been doing those videos yet because I still have some other things that I'm trying to get through. I'm trying to clean the basement up, and I've been putting other videos on there, other like Barbie stuff that isn't necessarily Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Barbies videos, but I do have a few up. But yeah, the one that's going to have everybody there at I have the congregation all set up with what it is if you've ever watched the Barbie movie, they're in Barbie Land, and that's where all the Barbies are. Well, this is Barbieville. The Kingdom Hall is in Barbieville. It's the next town over.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So anyway, I just have a very, I think in the first video that I have is that I used to play Kingdom Hall when I was little with my Barbies. And I remember another, witness friend of mine, we played Barbies all the time. And so that's kind of my idea, is that we're just going to play Barbies, but it's going to be all of the situations that come up
Ooh,
within
I like
it. So, yeah. So, and I think MJ said it's going to be kind of like a novella, you know. So, yeah.
What is
So
that?
it's
What does
just
that
like,
mean?
oh,
What
it's
does
kind of like that's like a Spanish soap opera.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm just going to take all the Barbies in the congregation, and they're going to come up with all these situations. And so I'm not going to come out, outright and say, witnesses believe this and da 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 da. No, I'm just going to show it. I'm going to play Barbies, and maybe an elder's daughter might get pregnant. I don't know.
It could happen.
And it's just different situations that will come up. Maybe she'll fall in love with worldly Ken. I don't know.
Could be, yeah. See, all of those things are like a big deal. They really are a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Purple asked, do the Barbies worship their creator, Mattel?
Oh.
That's a good
I don't
question.
know. That is a very good question. Well, the governing body is actually the governing Muppets. So, because I love the Muppets show. So,
So do
yeah.
I.
So if you see one of my videos on there, when it was it wasn't the memorial. It was, it was the memorial. And they had they had a drama of the Last Supper. Well, you'll see some of the governing body members on there. So Stephen Lett and Uncle Tony. I had to do Uncle Tony. So he's still he's still on the he's still a governing body member. They are Statler and the Heckling guys, the two old men Muppets.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Let and Uncle Tony.
I love it.
So
That's very cool.
yeah.
What is the name of your channel?
It is Alora. If you all one word, Alora Mermaid Full.
Full.
FUL. ALORA Mermaid and FUL. If you do just Alora Mermaid, you'll get my old channel, but you'll see both of them. Just do Alora Mermaid and you'll find it. So
Okay, and I'll try to make a point of remembering to put it in the description box. Okay. I did watch your video, I think it was last night, where you opened up a couple of boxes and it had like these little taco things and something to put them in. And an ice cream scooper that made the best ice cream scoops ever. And you put them in a little taco and everything. It was just so, it was actually quite relaxing to watch. And the music that you were playing was just easygoing. I'm always pleasantly surprised when I go to your channel.
Well, see, I love those they're like little balls and you make stuff. That's like one of those things where I just love those. And I am making a bar. And they're going to have the Elders Lounge. So it's going to be across the hall from the Kingdom Hall, and elders and ministerial servants and in fact, one of the videos that I have on now, the joke is that Weird Barbie brought over Uncle Tony a drink from the Elders Lounge because she's working off her service hours.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I still have to build that, but yeah.
But you
So
got that fence.
yeah.
Is
So
really
I've got
cool.
all these little drinks for them, and then the food that's going to be the bar food, and so that's why I've kind of been. Yeah, I have this whole thing. I have about 10, 15 episodes written down. But the one that is going to have everybody is that they're going to, at the memorial service, or they're going to be all the YouTube apostate creators are going to be invited to the memorial.
Ah, okay.
So, but
right.
yeah, so you guys are gonna go be walking down the red carpet. You'll have to, you're gonna hand over your invitation. It's like your ticket to get in there. So anyway, it'll be fun.
Purple just now put in your link in the chat for your channel.
Thank you, Purple.
Thank you, Purple.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. She's always on top of stuff like that. She's really thoughtful that way. Thank you so much. And Elaine Brain Drain says, reminds me of Kevin McPhee's Dovetown. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
He uses
And in
Legos.
fact, somebody had asked me if I'm going to do the stop motion. And I'm like, oh, that's just too much work, So everybody's going to see my hand. I'm going to be.
Yeah, that's playing with Barbies. That's
Yeah,
what playing with Barbies
exactly. That's
looks
what it
like.
is. We're playing with
That's what it
Barbies.
looks like.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have you, I have MJ, I have the Good Wife and Vern, I have Ryan, Coltastic, Jonathan and James, and who else? I have Joan Fran, of course.
Wow.
Who else do I have? I'm working on Compassionate Apostate. I'm working on his.
He's quite the
who
artist.
else?
He's quite the artist.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
music videos.
hmm Uh, I have a few others. I don't know exactly. I'm trying to
Oh,
remember exactly who. Oh, Kim and
remind me of that.
Mikey, of course,
Oh, yay. How
and
funny is that?
oh, and Wally. I had to have Wally. You
He's my
know.
Acosta son. He let me adopt him. I love him.
Aw, yeah. I'm his adoptive aunt. So,
Nice.
yeah.
That's so
So,
cool.
yeah, actually, he kind of gave me the inspiration actually because he was I was in one of his skits. I don't know, like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Um, and then he's like, "Oh, you're really creative." And then, then I was just thinking about it, and then I'm like, "Well, hey, I have a lot of Barbies, so because I'm a Barbie collector. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have a few Barbies. I have a whole bunch of Barbies all over the place. So,
Purple is
I thought
asking
that would be
who Wally is. So Purple has
oh,
never been part of the organization, but the family that she grew up in was very
mm-hmm,
much cult like. So Wally
okay,
is a content creator, and Wally
mm-hmm,
does some extra Jehovah's Witness videos, and
mm-hmm.
his channel is called JW Thoughts. That would be
Go and subscribe because he's trying to get to I think 45,000 subscribers. So, and he is so hilarious. I love him. So,
naturally
yeah.
talented and does his
Mm-hmm,
homework and gives good, you know, opinions and yeah, very cool.
mm-hmm.
Very cool. And
And
he's done a
he's
bunch of
got
stuff
really.
with
Yeah. He's got
like
a
cult.
cute kitty and two cute dogs and
Right.
oh, he's my dog's boyfriend.
For
So
real.
for
Wow.
real, yeah. I don't know if I have did I do a video on that? I
Wally
think
is
I
your
did.
dog's boyfriend, or is it Wally's
Yeah.
dog? It's your dog's
Huh?
boyfriend.
He is my dog's boyfriend.
Fascinating.
When
Okay.
he was here, he actually took her for a walk, and
I
she
think I've
just
seen
is
pictures of
so
that.
in love with him. Yeah. I think I
Yeah,
have a
I've seen
video on
pictures
that. So
with
yeah,
on the couch.
yeah. He stayed here at my house on his way to Washington D.C. So he drove,
Ah,
and
Okay.
so I got to meet him, and he made me dinner, and got to meet Lulu, and Lulu was just so enamored by him. So
Very cool.
ah,
mhm.
well, Laura, you said something about DC you banned through there?
Oh,
Washington D.C.
when they had
Oh no,
in
sorry.
Washington D.C. when they had the protest 2 years ago.
Oh, at the White House.
I
Yeah,
kn-
at the White House.
I learned
Yeah.
about that. You been there in that town?
I haven't been to Washington D.C. Wally was traveling. He's driving all the way to Washington D.C. So he stayed at a few of us, our houses. So
I got
so I got
relatives.
to meet him. Hmm.
Well, I got relatives within the suburbs of DC, the outside
Yes.
of it.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
do.
I'm clear on the other side of the coast, so
And
I'm
yeah,
on I'm on Linda's time zone. So
Oh, okay.
well, DC, well, one of its suburbs is Arlington, Virginia.
hmm.
My grandparents, they were longtime residents of it,
Hmm.
and which they've been. My grandpa, he has been since '01 that he died, and then my
Hmm.
grandma 2007.
Hmm.
And
Were they witnesses too?
No, they weren't. He
Oh, okay.
wasn't into. He didn't believe in anything really, but he was respectful.
Thank you, Purple. I think Purple just put JW Thoughts channel on there too.
But
Thank
my
you.
aunt, she last month she turned 87.
Aw.
And by
Yeah,
the way,
uh-huh.
Robert
Go ahead.
J. Lipton. Robert J. Lipton died 2 days ago on the 4th of September at the age of 99. Robert J. Lipton is somebody who inspired Steve Hassan with this book about, I forget which, but it was, so basically his book helped wake up Stephen Hassan. I've looked into him, and he has like the 8 criteria to totalism, and I've talked about those on the show. So I'm going to talk about him a little bit more next week. He's done a lot of work.
My grandma was 100 years old when she passed away. So
When was that?
when was
that?
Oh, that was several years ago. But she lived to be 100.
And mine, yours came from a certain time. I don't know when. Mine, she lived from 1918 to 2007.
Yeah. I remember my grandma talking about the Depression and everything. So
Mine remembers, she remembers even Prohibition she did, being from 1918.
Wow. Purple
And my papa, he was from 1919.
1819.
1919.
Okay.
And she was 1918.
Purple just wrote in the chat that her mother turned 94 this summer.
Wow.
Yeah, she was one of the youngest of many children. So I'm going to say goodnight, and thank you everyone that showed up tonight. And thank you for honoring me with one of your Barbies. That's just like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, your Barbies are pretty. They are. I was thinking you'd have your Barbies full in a church or something.
I have a congregation. I have
Baptist church or something.
No, it's a Kingdom Hall.
We'll have to go to her channel and check it out.
Yeah. It's the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Barbies.
Nice. Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Barbies. That's so cool.
Yeah. So
thank you.
I'll be making more content. And I've just had a lot going on in my life right now. So getting back on track. So
yeah, you got to do what you got to do, and then you make these videos. They're very cool. Thank you for showing up and telling us.
You're welcome. Just wanted to show you. Yeah.
So
because
cool.
You're one of my favorite apostates.
Yay. Thank you so much. I'm so impressed. So I just
I want to say thank you for showing us your y'all Barbies.
They're very cool, yeah.
Or yours.
So I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody. Everyone that showed up tonight on the show, thank you for showing up and being part of the show. And I know there was a couple that I didn't get to, and some are getting knocked off and having trouble and everything. Okay, Purple, she is saying she was the youngest of 9. Okay. That's when I said she had a large family, youngest of 9. And I just wanted to say, anybody who showed up on the show tonight, thank you. Anybody that showed up in the chat, thank you. And anybody who listens to this later, I appreciate you too. This is truly a highlight of my week. Every single weekend I get to do this, and I'm so thankful for anybody that shows up or listens to this later. And I'm thankful for the community that we have going on. This Jehovah's Witness community where we can heal uniquely with the help of those that were once in this organization. It helps the blow of assimilating into society at large. It helps make it easier, and thank you for that. So I will be here next weekend, same time, same place, 9 p.m. on Saturday night. I'm going to say goodnight now.
Oh, good
Night.
night, y'all. Night.
Thank you,
Good
Linda.
night, y'all.
Night, Alice. Night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good
You-
night.
Y'all too.